What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Great Lakes Outdoors podcast. Today, as always, we got Alyx sitting in here with me.
What up, what up?
Today, we got two guests, one returning, one I just met at lunch, and I think he might be sleeping by the end of this, but we got Mike from Flipping Birds and his boy Caleb. How are you guys doing, man?
Good, buddy. Thanks for having us back. It's good to be back.
Another great day.
Another great day in paradise after all the sun yesterday that you got.
God, that was brutal.
No, Mike, me and you talk about it all the time, how much I appreciate talking to you and having you in, and I was super stoked today to have Alyx get to meet you.
Yeah.
Because, like, as soon as dinner was done, Alyx was like, dude, the guy's passionate as all get out about the snows, and it's hard to find people like that, and everybody knows that.
I can't lie, I was a little turned on, dog.
I love it. I love it. That's what I do. That's just what I do.
So if the people are just now getting to know Mike from Flipping Bird, who is Mike? Who are you?
So by day, Mike is a real estate broker / investor. So as passionate as I am about snow geese, I also double down, and I love real estate. Lucky enough to be doing something that doesn't really feel like much of a job to me. My boss and I actually just opened a brand new brokerage in our town. We left our former brokerage and opened another one. So that's super exciting for us. And my in addition to, not instead of, is Flipping Birds Apparel Company, right? You and I have talked a couple of times about if I ever stop making excuses for not promoting it and give it the attention it deserves. I think we got something here.
Right.
Those that follow me saw the posts from earlier this week about the new summer weight hoodies and the new, I think there was 9 different styles of hats that I just had made.
Right.
Company out by me called Roots Edge.
Turned out awesome.
They're super. I mean, yeah, the people, April and her husband at Roots Edge are just two really cool people. And again, their hat business is in addition to, not instead of, their normal day jobs. And I really, really enjoy supporting that sort of effort, right? Because if you want to, it's out there, right? So for me to be able to help another small business, especially in the community that I live in, grow a little bit, then it's good. And the response that I got from those posts was, honestly, I was a little overwhelmed by it. I didn't, I love my stuff, right? But we've talked about that too. If I don't love it, you're never going to see it.
Right.
So I love it, but that doesn't mean that everybody else will love it too. I just hope that they do. And I hope that they see the attention to detail that I'm putting into stuff. I hope they see that I'm trying to keep the cost down so that the everyday guy and girl can afford to put some of my stuff on their head or on their back as well. And it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty I was overwhelmed by the response I got. It's the amount of merchandise I've sold since I started posting that stuff on Tuesday has been really cool.
It seems like, a lot of people, even before this last drop, that, everybody loves that logo of yours.
I'm a huge fan.
Are you?
I'm a huge fan. Yeah. I'm crushing over here a little bit. It's sick. Yeah. You love watching them do that, though. That's like people's favorite position to have a bird is when they're maple leafing.
The maple leafing thing for me is always, and I love that Canada's do it up here for us.
Yeah.
But like,
Canadians?
No, I don't know what goes on in Canada.
Right, exactly.
But the Canadas up here do it. But the Snows and especially the Ross's geese, right? Like Rossies
those are the first ones.
Yeah.
When they start doing that, it's game over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rossies have saved so many of our hunts down there. You'd be having a slow day, and all of a sudden you get a pot of Rossies, and
just absolutely give it.
Yeah.
They just give it up, and you're like, oh, thank God for Rossies.
Right.
Thank God for Rossies.
But before we get too far into it,
sure,
we got to let your boy talk, because I've talked or heard a lot about him.
Get after him, man. Get after him.
Caleb, explain or tell everybody who you are, because everybody's heard about you already on here, but who is Caleb?
Caleb by day is operator. Get to run Tonka toys. We'll do underground construction, water main, sewer main, stuff like that. But I get out. I help with hands-on stuff too, like that. It doesn't bother me to get a little dirty.
Now you're a big whitetail guy too, right?
I'm more for the birds.
Okay.
Ducks, geese, turkeys. That's That's my big thing.
Gotcha.
I'll deer hunt. I mean, not as much as I probably should, but I'll typically shoot one, fill the freezer quick, and then my main focus is ducks and geese.
I gotcha.
Don't let him fool you. He shoots good deer. Frequently shoots good deer.
So, but you're turkey hunting too? You turkey hunt a lot? So that's what I was getting confused on then.
Love the turkey hunt.
Because I remember your dad telling me one thing that it was either deer. I couldn't remember what it was because you were showing me last time all the big deer you guys got over there as well.
Yeah. Well, we have them. He just shoots the ones that we get, and I get pictures. So I like to look at them. He likes to harvest.
I saw some. There's some good deer.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Looks like
it. We're fortunate for sure.
Right.
You guys will get tired of watching them one day. You just start pulling in arrows.
Yeah,
I just got to get him out of the. I got to get him out of the right stand so I can sit in it. Okay, stop bogarting a good stand, son of a bitch.
So you kind of fell in love with the snow goose as well. I mean, you picked that over Canadian geese.
Yeah. Okay. If I always tell myself if I could find a way to be able to afford chasing them from Arkansas or down south all the way up to Canada, I would drop everything and do that in a hurry. But I just, it's a lot of wear and tear on vehicles and, all the extra money on decoys. And
it's a wear and tear on the body.
Yeah.
There's very, very little sleep when it comes to the 1 week that we spend in Missouri snow goose hunting.
Oh, he was telling me about it last time. I was like, as much fun as that sounds, I might be sleeping out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of field naps. I promise you that. Plenty of field naps. But I think there was 1 year we were getting down to the wire. It was like the last day or so. We spent all day watching these birds land in a field next to us, and we finished out our hunt that night in the field, just him and I. It was just him and I. Picked up the entire spread, reset it in the field next to us, and I think we maybe got an hour and a half nap, and then we were right back up and back out in the field.
Oh yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
It's horrible though.
It is.
It's horrible. But we love it.
Literally,
it's
exhausted.
Like when you get a banger of a hunt, it's such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
You don't even really notice how tired you are, and you and I have talked about that before, right? Like there have been a number of occasions where we have rolled into town, said hi to our farmer, very purposefully rolled into town about dinner time so that they're going to be coming out for the evening feed or already out for the evening feed. Say hi to our farmer. Good to see you again. Hug him, pat him on the back, and say, we'll talk to you in the morning, right? And then we just immediately go right into scouting and let's go find a feed. Let's acquire permission, and then let's wait for them to leave so that we can set up,
Let's grind it out while we're down here. And
sure, because it's 7, 8, 9 days, and you know that 2 of those days are travel, right?
It's a full blown for you guys. It's like a mission, like it's like a deployment. Like you guys are deployed for a week.
Yeah.
It is.
That's what
all business from the time we leave Michigan to the time we find our feed and get our spread set. Then you relax for a minute, knowing that's like sweet. We've got the spread set.
Yeah,
but then the alarm goes off the next morning, and you're like, here we go. Thank God I get to put on my uniform again today. Let's go do work. Let's go do work.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the craziest thing, and I don't know how you feel about it, and I've told Mike multiple times. It's just still bizarre to me that people from Michigan have that big of a passion behind snow geese compared to the geese up here, the ducks up here. It's still bizarre to me.
I think it's the hunt. It's the way that you hunt. It's the amount of birds. It's the way they do it. It's just I don't know. It's different.
I mean, it's the spectacle of it, right? Because we were down there this last spring, and I was telling you guys at lunch, we were down there this last spring, and there was 50 to 75,000 of them spinning into the neighbor's farm for 2 days, right? On the second day, I said, I'm going to go knock on a door, right? Because that's who I am. I don't care. I knock on this poor lady's door, and she comes out, and I said, hey, I apologize to bother you, but like we're hunting just a couple of fields over, and I can't help but notice all these birds spinning into your field. We're only here a couple more days. Is there any chance we could set up and hunt your fields? And she was like, oh, it's really nice of you to ask, but we just really love it when all those birds are in our fields. And I'm talking feet from the road. She had the farm was on the corner of 2 roads, and these birds were like they were right by the fence, but just feet from the road. And she's like, but thank you so much for asking, instead of just driving up and shooting a bunch of them and leaving them laid dead in our field. But like, to go back to where we were hunting, because they were to our west, like the sun was setting right behind this giant cloud of snow geese. And I'm like, I don't care if we shoot another one the entire time we're down here. To see that liftoff from that field into the sunset.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
I wish I had a real high quality camera.
I know.
I mean, the sunsets down there hit completely differently.
So different.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But like, then you add the pure spectacle of like, because when you try to explain it to people and you go, we go down to the refuge, and there's like 2 years ago there was 2.2 million snow geese on the refuge when we went down. This last year it went from like 1.6 to we say only 700 plus thousand, and people are like, only 700,000, and I'm like, you got to understand that's half the birds that are down there when we're normally down there. And we make a very specific point to go to the refuge at least one day while we're down there to just watch the birds come back in.
Yeah.
It is unreal, and something that if you like waterfowl hunting at all, you have to experience.
See, every time I say it,
hear that, Kyle?
I know. I was just about to say, because every single time I see Mike, we talk about it, and
we go back and forth. You go, I'll come snow goose hunting with you. You just drive over here and hunt with me in the fall. And I'm like, I know.
Sounds like a pretty fair.
We're gonna get him out on something this year. We got to change.
Dude, we were on the way here today, and I was literally thinking, this is an hour to drive here. Why am I not over here all the time hunting with these guys?
Right.
Well, it's even closer to you where we hunt at.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not far at all.
No.
So it's like, what the heck's going on? Why are you not over here?
Again, if I ever stop making excuses and start doing, I'm good.
Right. I don't know. That's we shoot some snows around here, and it's just, I don't know. It's still bizarre to me that far, because it's not that far. How far is that?
It takes us about 10 and a half hours to get down there.
To Missouri, you're saying?
Yeah.
But the way a bird flies, though, it's like, from the flyway, I feel like it's just not like, why don't we have more here? Bodies of water, all that stuff. Why don't we have more snows around here?
I don't know. I don't think it'll be too many more years, and we've talked about this before too, but it's not going to be too many more years because their migration route widens every year because of pressure, because like in the area where we hunt down there in Missouri, they are erecting windmills every day, and it has even changed their flight patterns down there that we've seen since 2016 when we started doing this freelance thing down there. We've seen their flight paths change just to avoid the windmills.
Yeah.
It's scary to think about.
People don't know how much damage those windmills actually do for like the environment and shit when they have to dig them out. Yeah, and digging them out and putting them in to just, they're spinning so fast as well. People don't understand. Yeah,
I was golfing with a guy up north a bunch of years ago when in my former life I worked at a steel mill, and there was an engineer there that we ended up north in Michigan playing golf with, Traverse City, Cadillac area. And he looked at me and he goes, Mike, how fast do you think that windmill is spinning?
Like 200 miles an hour, ain't it?
And I go, dude, it doesn't look like it's going very fast. He goes, actually, it's 90 miles an hour.
90? He
said, I was literally up here and was fascinated enough by it that I picked one of the blades and then he's like, I timed it until it got back to the top. And then I created a mathematical formula for it, and I figured out that it's like 90 miles an hour.
Only an engineer would say that.
That's what I said. I was like, man, either you're really bored or you got a lot more free time.
Yeah. Or you're just plain out smart.
Right.
We're going to pause this for a second
Sure.
Real quick. Another sponsor I wanted to bring up was Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association. Whether it's from youth hunts to cleaning up the beach, to dinners, anything just in the community alone is an amazing thing to team up with these guys, and can't speak highly enough of them. From everything that they do, it's absolutely amazing, and I highly suggest anybody out there that has a local DU or just a small association, highly suggest teaming up with those guys and giving back as much as you possibly can, because if not, who knows what the future holds. Like I said, greatly Appreciate those guys letting us team up with them, and I really cannot express how excited I am for the future. But back to the podcast. All right, we're back. We're talking about windmills. We had a little guest pop up.
Yeah, it's all good. It was just one of those like,
because we're getting a lot of solar panels around here, even.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, what's gonna.
Let me tell you
Right.
something about that, guys. Working in the power utility space, we got about 3 giant more solar panel fields that are getting put in through
Really?
DTE. Yes. I want to say one here by Detroit, one by you guys, and then one that's going to be way up by like Petoskey area.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't know what that's gonna do to detriment things, but
So I don't
don't
think
know.
the solar fields are as bad as the windmills, right?
No,
Because
not at
they'll
all.
just avoid the field versus like if you go anywhere near it, you're going to get potentially cut in half.
Well, that's what kind of makes me nervous, though, because if you go start putting all these solar like panels in these fields, then do you think that, in my opinion, where are they going to eat at? Like I know some farmers are selling their whole farm,
Sure.
so that could change up a whole flight path for these
Well,
birds.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's
Just
true.
Change fields, change where they're going.
Right.
I mean, could completely push them out of the area, you'd
right,
think.
right. So I mean, that doesn't. I mean, what is it doing to the roosting ponds, or it's just gonna change up a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. It just makes me nervous with all that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They start popping up
Get
out
a
of
farm
nowhere.
that's got like 30,000 acre or 25. Some of these farms, these guys got so much acreage. Yeah, it could change up where they come back to feed.
And a
or
lot of
they
this
have.
stuff too. It's like the farmers can't even like say no to this because they don't have money as it is. So they're
It's called
taking the money.
It's called eminent domain.
Yeah.
And it's an actual law in Michigan that says that the state can take your property from you at fair market value if they deem that it's necessary that they have that property for whatever they want to do. They do it a lot when they're rebuilding roads and like putting new roads and stuff in.
But if you get a solid lawyer, can that
It's a law.
still?
It's a law.
That's wild.
I hate that. I hate you just told me that. I'm
Well,
turning inside right
so
now.
Right.
the Valley Field, the turkey field.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this. Just like the brand new house on the outside, like before you get back in there, like
Yeah.
there's one by itself.
Yeah.
They're putting a road like through that guy's front yard.
Yeah, you
Oh,
were
yeah.
telling me that when we drove by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
holy smokes, man! You just built this like
They do-
$600,000 house, and
Yep.
you're getting a road right next to it.
Yeah.
That's freaking wild.
I don't know.
Eminent domain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Otherwise known as shit sandwich.
Literally.
I mean, really. Yeah. Yeah.
I do, I know we got into like the waterfall a lot already, and I know we're going to talk about it a lot
we've
more.
only but scratched the surface, sir.
But I want to talk to Caleb about his turkey hunting this year
Okay, do it.
because I want to give him a chance to talk.
Get him-
I don't know. Is this your
get him
first podcast?
Yeah.
So I want to
It
give
is.
him on his first podcast a chance. to talk.
I'm just sitting here enjoying life right now.
Okay,
Listening to
with the
everybody
full
talk.
stomach.
I'm the man of few words.
Get him fired up.
So your turkey season this year. You just bought your first house.
Yep.
Got some birds behind you.
Yep. Every day.
And lady next door gave you permission to hunt her piece.
I actually went over there just to introduce myself, and I explained to him, I go, look, like, I just moved in next door a handful of months ago, and, like, I want to come over here, introduce myself, and just kind of give you guys, like, a heads up. If
Right.
you hear a gunshot in the backyard, it's just me turkey hunting.
Right.
And she goes, oh, that's no big deal. Like, we carry, so we're constantly shooting too, and this and that. And she goes, if it's easier for you, you might as well just come over here and hunt out back too.
Yeah, you can't
I
beat
go,
that.
I go, okay. Like,
Right. I
Easiest
mean,
permission ever.
if you're going to twist my arm
yeah,
about it, sure.
Twist my arm about it.
Right.
So we were kind of sitting there talking, getting to know each other and whatnot. Great people, older couple, great people. We're sitting there talking, and older guy, his name's Joe, turned around and we looked out his slider in his kitchen, and there was a couple cranes and babies in the backyard, and he just kind of nudges me with his elbow, and he goes, watch this. Goes out, opens that slider, and grabs a bucket, and they immediately knew. They turn around and come right up on the deck.
The turkeys?
The
deer.
cranes.
Oh, cranes.
Cranes. And he's just sitting there shelling out corn to them, and they're his pets.
just hanging out right there on the deck.
That's wild.
So he's got a petting zoo behind his house, basically.
Yeah,
basically.
right.
And
Right.
he told me, he goes, yeah, some days they'll walk right up on the deck. And, like, if we have the blinds open, they can see us walking around in here. They'll walk right up on the deck and look in the door. Sometimes they'll peck the window like, hey, we're here and we're hungry.
don't let the fuckers get around your dog.
No.
They'll take an eye out.
Well, and that's they're like, because I explained to them I have a chocolate lab. And they're like, well, is he a bird dog? Like, I know you hunt. Is he a bird dog? I go, yeah, he's our bird dog. And I was like, but I won't let him go after those cranes.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way.
Not
Like,
unless he's got goggles on.
Yeah, he'll see him and he'll think about it, and I just like, you're in for a world of hurt if you go over there.
Oh yeah. I've never seen it personally, but
Well, I mean, even,
I've heard stories.
Yeah,
and,
like you said, all the hunting videos you see of guys taking dogs out hunting cranes, like they got a certain type of vest on and the goggles and everything else.
Yeah,
like it's
like the impact resistant vest that they have to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
But
yeah, I just got into the turkey hunting thing with him this year. Well, last year I shot my first one, and then this year I shot one with him. And it's just a different rush. It's a different adrenaline.
Like I get fired up for waterfowl hunting, but there's nothing better than a tom or two or however many you got roosted, just absolutely going crazy on the roost first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just I didn't get one this year, but I had the privilege of calling a handful in for some good family friends, and it was a blast. Like we talked at lunch, there's some hunts I would almost rather sit there and call and just watch everything unfold, and like from a caller's perspective, I guess, instead of behind the gun.
Right.
So
forgot to turn the mic back on. So me and my dad actually doubled up opening morning this past year, and I was lucky enough to be able to take some people out, and it's almost like I get more of a kick out of taking people out compared to me pulling the trigger.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like especially like with Alyx getting into it this year and him actually turkey hunting is absolutely my favorite type of hunting.
Yep.
And nobody understands what like it means like to hear that gobble in the morning or to feel like what they are actually sounding like.
My favorite, and I'll take this to my grave, my favorite story of a double is when Dad was still working at the steel mill by us, and this was, I think I was still in school at this point. I say that like I've been out of school for a while, but I really haven't. But we were hunting out behind the steel mill, and I think it was like a late morning, early afternoon hunt. You know, we had our morning hunt, went in for breakfast, and then we come back out at the point where like, okay, they had to have dropped their hens by now, so they should just be out strutting in a field.
Right.
We get these two going, and I'm laying on my stomach, and he's behind me calling. They hear us, and here they come on a string. Well, I like to see how close I can get them.
100%.
Like
100%.
I like to see, and these birds are coming, and it goes 20 yards, and then it's 10 yards, and then I can feel him hitting the back of my boot. Like, shoot it, shoot it, and then it's 5 yards, and then it's like 6 steps, and boom!
Oh my God!
I shoot mine. The other one jumped straight up.
Yeah.
Jumped up on his knees, and boom!
Oh my
there
God!
It was. I was like, that is awesome.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool out there. Yeah.
That's what we had one this year. I see a big time out in the field, so I got the guys out, swung way wide out into the neighboring property, like we had permission, but swung way out, and I call, he fires right up. Well, next thing you know, we jump in the bushes because he's like right there.
Yeah.
And it's like those bushes it's like the yearling tree, like the pop, like the pecker poles basically, but it's just thick enough to kind of get a.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what your answer was.
Yeah, the Packer poles, huh?
Good Lord.
I will say your son knew exactly what I was talking about. Just letting you know.
We went from turkey hunts to pecker poles.
I'm just letting you know.
I mean, that was a seamless
I don't know what
transition
kind
into
of
the pecker
turkeys
pole.
you're hunting, but
Kyle's like, motherfucker.
he's like,
So anyway,
He's
versus
you can't loud one up like that and expect me not to just rip that bad boy right out of the park.
I want to talk to Caleb. Learn to Caleb. This will be the first and last time he's ever on this podcast. Just for that.
So we, jeez, oh, please scare the crap out of me. So we jump in the bushes, not the pecker poles, just in these bushes.
You're in the bushes.
Yeah, exactly. And these birds come flying up the tree line right at us.
Right.
And here they come. Next thing you know, there was 5 jakes. It was a guy's first bird. I was like, dude, if you want to shoot it, go ahead. And this was like at the bird when they were 20 yards-ish out. They're still running right at us. They get like 5 feet, like still full bore running at us. So like, you better shoot before we get the shit kicked out of us right now. And he shot, man. And on the migrant box, it says, do not shoot within so many feet.
Right.
We found out why it says that because there was a inch round hole in that turkey's head, and it went flying backwards another 5 feet from where we shot it at. And it was like the most crazy, like, BS hunt ever. Because, like, you know, you're out there all day, you're sweating your butt off, you're grinding, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Excuse me, geez, oh, piece. The birds come flying up to us, and it's like, okay, that was way easier than, you know, it's like going out, shooting a deer within 5 minutes. You know,
you didn't intend for it to happen that way.
Right. It's, I don't know, it was nuts. But like I said, the turkey hunting itself, getting new people out there or just getting somebody else to go out there and enjoy it, and it's you can't beat it.
It's only because you've never snow goose hunted. That's it.
I love snow goose hunting, but turkey hunting is right up there.
So you're the same way that I am.
Right up
You guys
there.
are messed up.
You're the same way I am. I don't know. It's something about that. Hearing the gobbling on a roost, putting them to bed, seeing a plane come together.
I like it when they go off inside the woods and the way that echoes.
It's crazy.
That
one
makes the hairs on my arms stand up every time.
That and when they drum and you can hear them drum behind you like really, really loud.
You know they're close.
Yeah.
When you can hear that, you know they're close.
Mine gave us. He gave me the
story. I don't know if they've heard it.
Yeah, they gave. So, we show up to the field in the morning. Somehow, this other guy had permission through like 9 other people.
Oh boy,
he's like a work buddy of somebody who had
so friend of a friend of a cousin,
brother's wife,
right?
Brother.
He pulled up.
One of those situations.
We get there, me and my buddy Goodman.
God damn it,
we'll set that up here shortly. We get there, and next thing you know, another truck pulls up behind us. Alyx isn't there yet, and I'm sitting there, and this truck doesn't roll his window down. I know it's not Alyx or anything. And he doesn't get out of his truck, like, at all. And I'm like, okay, this is super weird. Alyx shows up, and the guy rolls his windows down, and he's like, hey, what's going on? Like, who are you guys? I was like, well, we're hunting. Like, who are you?
Mind you, Kyle and Goodman got there first. They beat this guy by like probably 2 or 3 minutes. So they technically got there first, right?
Yeah. Not even technically they got there.
They got there first.
Right.
And from the farmer, there was nobody else supposed to be hunting any of the fields besides me and the neighbor.
Right.
And the guy's got a ton of property out there. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, don't be asking me who I am. Like, who are you out here? I've never seen you out here. I know the neighbors out there. I know everybody out here. He's like, well, what are your family? I was like, no, but what does that even matter? Why are you bringing that up? I'm like, I'm hunting back there. I don't care where you hunt, because he was told me the whole story on how he got permission through his buddy from work's cousins, family, whatever. And I was like, we're gonna hunt back here. He's like, well, that's where we were gonna hunt. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, we're hunting back there. And I was like, you can go around the tree line and hunt over there. I've seen a bunch over there too. No, I'm hunting over at this corner. If you guys are hunting there, whatever, dude.
Right, do your thing.
We get out there, we sit down. I think by the time I put the decoys out, they started gobbling. And they were right where I thought they were going to be. They shut up for a minute. I did one, like, just a higher pitch call than normal. And he fires right back up. And then next thing you know, he's behind us. These guys were telling me that this bird's like 10 feet behind me. I have no idea.
I kept shoulder checking, like, very slow, and you'd see him behind us at like 60 yards.
Nice.
But he's just sitting there all puffed out, not making any noise, just sitting there,
assessing the scenario.
Right, making sure.
Next thing you know, he comes a little closer. He gets right behind me, cuts up the tree line, sees a decoy, and just out of nowhere, just full sprint right towards the decoy. And it happened within 30 minutes, I think it was, the entire hunt.
Yep.
And he sat there, beat the crap out of our decoy, and we were walking out of that woods before 7 o'clock, and we have to pass that guy that gave us a hard time in the morning with the turkey on our shoulder, and it's like, you should have listened to me.
Well, it's like what we talked about last time. It's the middle finger that you never have to give anybody.
Right. Yeah. Oh, he knew.
That's a really good way of putting it.
I mean, really is, right?
You just smile at him.
That's it.
You're just saying it in your head.
Smile and wave.
Enjoy your hunt.
I watched those birds for the last 3 days prior to that even.
Right.
And then Fonz was like, hey, I'm coming up for the day because this is when he was living in Wisconsin. And I was like, oh, perfect, dude. It's going to be an easy layup. Goodman and you were probably going to double up because there was another time that popped out of the woods too, but he just wasn't wanting nothing to do with it. And the guy told us that he hunted it 3 days in a row prior to that. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if those birds were out there every morning for the last 3 days that I've seen them, and you still haven't had a shot on those birds, like, what are you doing wrong?
What are you doing? And why are you out here still?
To be honest with you, I think the calling and the hide are the two biggest things in turkey hunting because people overcall too much. They call every single time a gobble's coming in, and time obviously is same with like waterfowl hunting in itself. Like it teaches you, but it's just you don't have to call out a turkey every single time he gobbles. Make him curious enough to have him come in.
Right, and follow that clucky herd.
Right.
That's my biggest mistake, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Is I'll get you hear a gobble or two, you get all fired up. It's like, sweet, I want to hear it again. Yeah. Then you're calling, and you're calling, and you're calling.
You get worried.
Yeah, and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, because a minute feels like 10, and you're like, wait a minute, where'd he go?
Like, he was just right there.
I'm going to make him gobble again instead of like understanding that the reason he hasn't gobbled is because he hasn't stopped moving. And he's coming to find you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you stand up because you think it's an hour that goes by. It's
right.
like 15
it's really
minutes.
15 minutes.
He's
boom,
like
there he
right
is.
there. Right there.
He's 75 yards going, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was walking right towards
he
you.
was.
It's like, are you kidding me right now?
If I had $1 for every time I did that.
Oh, I bet.
It was, I don't know. It seems like you had a really good season.
For not shooting one, I had a pretty good season, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I mean, did you hunt a lot out there?
I hunted a few times. My biggest thing was I didn't know much about the outlet or the property, I guess, and where they were roosted because, I just moved in.
Right.
So my first morning going out there, I was probably a few minutes later than what I should have been because they were already gobbling. I'm walking through my backyard to get to this field. First one lights up on the roost, and they're roosted right next to the neighbor's house.
Oof.
So and there's no good way for me to get to where I need to be in the field without them seeing me or walking right by them.
Yeah, that's tough. That's super tough. Was there a lot of days? Because for me, I was going through the transition with work and stuff like that, so I was able to hunt every single day pretty much and take people out every day.
See, I was basically only weekends because at this point I was in Fort Wayne working.
Okay, gotcha.
So I would be gone Monday through Thursday. I would get home Thursday night, and I'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get as much hunting in as possible.
Okay.
So, and it was. You would think it would have been really easy because it's every day, and it still is every day. I look out in the backyard, and there they are right there. But,
you were sending me pictures, Mike.
But then you also have to keep in the back of your mind, okay, sweet, they're in the backyard, but how the hell are you going to get out to where you need to be? Right. Because the second I would crest the little hill in my backyard, we both see each other at the same time, and that's it.
Right. That's tough. That's super tough. I don't know. That's even that though, just that cat and mouse game between the two, and I think that's the thing where turkey hunting for me too. It's that one-on-one connection with that bird, and I think that's what really gets me. Your waterfowl hunting, you have a flock of 20 birds come in or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
it's not like I said one-on-one. It's just 1 on 20 of them. So that's what kind of separates it for me. But no, that's your dad was sending me he didn't have Snapchat at the time, but now he does.
He's still new to it, trying to figure it out.
Very new.
Very new. But he was sending me pictures all the time about the birds in the yard, and I don't know. It's because you didn't go out, did you?
I didn't go out much, not as much as I usually do, but I had
Again, I invited him, just letting you know, and he said no.
I didn't say no.
He didn't say no, but
I had a first.
much.
I had a first quarter at work that didn't allow me to hunt much.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
and it's when I originally got into real estate, I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'll be able to hunt as much as I want.
Right.
Well, nope.
Yeah, because like real estate, you only make as much as you put the work in.
Right. How hard you work or don't work very directly correlates
to what
how
you
much
make.
you make or don't make.
Right.
And there's something about understanding that my bills are coming every month, whether I close the deal that month or not. My bills are still there every month, right? So I'm wired that way anyway, where I'm constantly on go. Mm-hmm. But
really, how could it?
Yeah. I don't.
You must be drinking Prime.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, but it's just different, right? Because the fourth quarter for me during the year, when I want to be in a tree stand or in a duck blind, is always my biggest quarter of the year, because everybody's trying to get that house before their new house before the holidays, so that they can have holidays at their house this year. So it's, it just is what it is. It's a fair trade, right? Because I get to make my own schedule. So if I want to go in at 11 tomorrow morning and hunt till 9 or 9:30, then I can do that. And if I know that I can't, then I can't.
Right. So turkey season ends, obviously. What are you guys doing in the off season to get prepped for this upcoming year?
Golf.
You're a golfer, huh?
Lots and lots.
I could tell today.
I
could tell today when he walked up. I was going to ask him, I'm like, did you just get off the course?
That's what I was thinking.
Because I know that's a golf belt.
Just heads up, because this is a golf shirt, too. That's what's coming next, right? I introduced the summer weight hoodies the other day. I'm started to research. On the heels of that, I started to research some different camouflage golf polos. I think that's what's coming next.
I'm going to be buying like 10 off you, because that's all I do for work is take clients out and golf for the most part, and I get sick of wearing the generic. I want to wear something that shows who I am.
Yep.
So, I mean, any deer like habitat, turkey habitat? Oh, this is one thing. Were you shooting every one of those turkeys at the same property? Or are they all separate?
The ones opening day were
the same,
all same property, and then I was able to get a friend one behind my house. And
I always wonder about that too, because we look into that a lot with our fields, where you don't want to take too much off of one property. So just
all the ones opening day with those guys. That's kind of our yearly thing. We call it turkey camp.
Okay,
we'll always, however it falls, like this year, I think what was opening day a Saturday.
Yeah.
And with me being in Fort Wayne, I already had Friday off. So, like, we played golf Friday played golf, and then, we went and...
So it's a whole, I gotcha.
Boozed it up
afterwards. Had a couple of sodas. A little bourbon.
Yeah. And it was opening day
I would
the
have
next
woke
day.
up the next morning.
I'm a 9-hole guy.
This guy, no.
I can't go past 18. I can't do 18.
What?
I hate 18.
Come on, man.
Man, if it's a nice day where it's like 65, 60 degrees out and you get a little breeze, I'm good. I'll do 18. But like I went out and played 18 this year, and it was 97 degrees, wind.
You don't golf those days.
Oh my goodness!
Don't golf those days.
The guys I was with were trying to find every ball. Oh my! I was so mad inside. I could have passed out.
Yeah.
Not even from the heat.
I always, there's always those people, and I can say that I'm also one of those people at times that like I'll complain about slow play.
Yeah.
Like if you can't keep up with pace.
Right.
Like it's a problem, especially on a hot day like that.
No, we're good.
But like I always say, you can play bad and still play fast.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You can play bad and still play fast.
Yeah.
So the serious answer to your question is we turned over, my youngest brother turned over one of our food plots the other day, right? The other 3 that we have on the lease property that borders his property or that conjoins his property, those we planted last year with a system that regenerates itself for, I forget if that's an annual or a perennial.
Like a clover kind of plot kind
It
of
is.
thing?
It's a clover mix. One of them...
Alfalfa?
No, not much alfalfa. One of them's like a clover, radish, turnip mix.
Okay.
And the other ones are mostly a clover mix.
Okay.
But forget who the guys are, and I'm terrible about that.
Like whitetail properties, maybe?
It's not whitetail properties. It's, I'll remember it when I'm on my way home today. But they released a food plot system last year. Extensive studies in it, 4, 5, 6 years in studies in it. And it regenerates itself for 4 to 5 years. So you plant it once and it keeps coming back. The one plot that we turned over yesterday, maybe it was Friday. That's the one. It's basically right in my brother's backyard. He has 12 acres, but
can't beat that. Then.
He plants, I don't know, maybe an acre of it in turnips and radishes for late season. So he turned that over the other day and was going to spray that, was going to weed kill that, and then we'll move into disking that up and then getting the turnips and radishes planted. It's been a couple of years since he's done that because he doesn't have time and won't ask for help. So
sounds like my brother-in-law.
The asking for help part, I was just gonna say.
Well, but it's significantly impacted the number of deer we see late season in a bad way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because when you have that food for them late season, especially, they're in their own winter.
True.
Right?
True.
So he hasn't had the time to do it the last couple of years in late season for us, and because he wants to be out in late season where I want to be shooting late season ducks, and Canada's he wants to be late season deer hunting. So it's negatively impacted that enough to where he's not making excuses this year. He's already turned it up and should have weed killed it at the same time, and he's going to get it planted this year.
That's one thing. Like I was gonna do food plot, not even a food plot, just almost like a throw and grow kind of thing this year.
Right.
But the property that I have, it's only tree line really. It's mainly field, and like last year it was all corn, and they didn't cut the corn until after season.
Right.
So we didn't really have the opportunity to see as many deer as I was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
This year the beans are really. I mean, I think I showed you the deer last year. That we had some real nice ones on camera.
Some good ones.
And this year it's looking pretty promising as well. We got beans, so hopefully this year it's a lot better for us anyway. But it's tough because I don't want to plant a food plot and it's only yay big, and they just devour it before it even grows.
In that case, it's about when you plant it, because I do the same thing on the small piece of acreage that I hunt over by my house. I just put it in late.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you put it in late knowing that when it's a month in and it should be 4 to 6 inches high and they're finding it finally,
right?
That's when you can be hunting them, because once they find it, they're going to come back, and you're 1,000% correct in that they will eat a smaller food plot right down to nothing in a matter of a week or so, depending on how many of them find it.
Right.
So I just put it in late, very specifically late, so that when the tail end of October's coming around, middle to end of October's coming around, that stuff's 4 to 6 inches tall.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
The does have found it. The bucks are starting to get a little squirrely.
Yeah, on the does, and it leads them right into freaking game time.
Trap set, baby.
Yep, trap set.
Right. So
maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah, I love micro plots because we have a couple of them on the lease property. In fact, all 3 of them that are on the lease property could probably be considered micro plots, because the biggest one might be 1/4 of an acre. We literally put one inside of a doe bedding area that looks like a parade going in and out of there in the pre-rut phase where they're chasing.
Yeah.
It was just this big overgrown patch of Russian olives with a little bitty center in it that had a little bit of vegetation in it. So what we did was we went in there, cleared some out to where it's 60 or 70 yards long, about 40 yards wide, and we disked that up real good, threw this food plot system down. I went in there with a backpack sprayer, fertilized it, done. And then we only go in there in the pre-rut to chase phase. That's it. We don't go in there after that. I put a cell cam on the far end of it so that anything that walked into that plot from any direction, I'll get a picture of.
Right.
Some of them not great because of the distance, but all that means is that I need to find a way to get another camera mounted on the front side of the plot to cover the one edge that they seem to favor right now.
You know who's got the nicest food plot I've ever seen?
Who?
Is Mike with the Pigeon Boy and Carter.
Really?
They have one of the nicest food plots. They got a tower blind.
Mm-hmm.
They dug a pond next to it, and then they have
vegetation rolling off of it.
Well, they have like beets and everything else out in front of them, and I'm talking maybe a 2-acre plot of just sugar beets, and but like to have that water next to the food plot.
They say that water, especially during the rut, water is one of the most important things you can have, and if you have water, like they'll come to it.
And them boys have, I mean, you've seen the pictures of the ones they shot last year.
Oh, man, those are, they shoot some good deer.
Yeah.
I will say.
My little brother did that inside of his woods a handful of years back. He rented a little mini excavator, and the hole isn't maybe 6 feet wide by 6 feet long and 3 feet deep, and we had a bunch of water we initially put in it, but then the rainwater kept water in it.
Really?
And he put a mineral block by it.
Oh.
The number of photos we got from that little bitty muddy gross water hole was insane.
That's wild.
Every buck we had on the property came to that thing at one point or another. It was insane.
That's freaking wild.
Yeah. And it was nothing. It was in the middle of his woods.
We were talking about that with Trav, remember?
Yeah.
And he was saying people do they do like the big plastic blue baby pools and just spray paint the inside, paint the inside of it or throw dirt.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing that this year, but it's just like if you don't get that rain and stuff, that water's just gonna be gone, and like to be able to circulate that water through or put new water into it off of that.
Yeah.
Deer don't care. They don't care. I mean, they'll drink the dirtiest, nastiest water ever.
They're built for it, though. The bacteria in their stomach breaks it all down.
Yeah, it's just water.
I'm going to have to try something like that because, I mean, there's only a creek that runs through the property, and that's it. Maybe a small pond. There is a small pond on the neighboring property that we're pretty close to. So, I mean, it does help, but there ain't a whole lot there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I wanted to ask you, too, so, like, big question for me with you I didn't get to ask you yet is, like, so how did you get into the snow goose hunting? What was your one?
Buckle up.
Did you?
You are in for it now.
Did you go by yourself? Did you go with somebody? What was your first hunt with snow geese? How did you get into it?
So we found them in 2010, and by we I mean a buddy of mine who now lives in Olathe, Kansas.
Okay.
We worked at the steel mill together. 2009 happened. We all lost our jobs. Right?
Oh yeah. My family got hit hard too. Oh yeah.
They literally hauled us all into a meeting room on December 21st of 2008 and said, "Hey, just so everybody's aware, we're idling operations January 15th of next year. Sorry about that. If you have any questions, let us know." And that was it. Out they went. And that was the only communication we got. They'd been open since 1973 and never had a layoff. So it was like a complete and utter shock to everybody. Everybody's got their jaws wide open, looking around, going, did he just really say what he just said? Like, wait, what? So after we lost our job, he and his family moved back to Kansas to be around his dad and all of her family. So fast forward to November of 2009, he sends me a text with a YouTube link attached to it, said, "Hey, man, I know you're really big into the waterfowl. I think this is probably something we have to check out. They do it down here within a few hours of me.
Yeah.
You come down here to me, we'll hire a guide service, and we'll do this." So I fell down the wormhole that is YouTube and snow goose hunting videos and just...
And there's so many good videos of guides that put out so much good content that make,
Are you familiar with Eagle Head Outdoors?
No.
You need to look them up. They have a hunt called 1028. Over the span of 3 days, they shot 1,028 snow geese hunting mornings only, including the best day they ever had at 467.
Oh my God. How do you even get that many birds out of the field,
They have a video on Facebook. I want to say they shot one volley. Now, granted, I don't know how many guys they had, but I'm sure it was probably around 8 to 10, something like that in the field. Yeah. One volley was like 75 or 80 birds.
Oh my God.
They were...
you hear him call the shot, and it just starts raining snow geese.
It's
That's
the biggest
insane.
rain out you'll ever see.
And it was such a big flock to begin with of birds coming in. I mean, it was, what?
10 to 15,000.
What do you aim at? You know what I mean? Like,
You pick one bird.
You have to.
Yeah, you pick
hard,
one. Yeah.
As hard as it sounds, I mean, you have to.
You pick one bird.
crazy.
You pick your first bird, and then from there, I'm going to be honest with you, dog. When I picked my first bird, I was just fucking spraying.
Oh, yeah.
And anything that was more clumped than something else, I'd try to shoot right and lead that clump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the first volley that I was talking to you about at lunch, Alex, right? That was we sat up, never scratched a feather, right?
Yeah.
But that was my very first snow goose hunt,
Yeah, okay,
right?
yep.
So he sends me this link, and I immediately watched the video, and I got back to him, and I was like, yep, we're doing that.
We're definitely doing
that. You know?
Right then and there.
So I started researching some guide services for down there.
Yep.
Learned that Los Bluffs National Wildlife Refuge, called Squaw Creek National Waterfowl Refuge at the time. I learned that it was down there, and started to research guides that guided hunts in the area. Found an independent biologist from northern Michigan. His name's Bill Artwich. Insanely great guy. Total type A personality. Very, very, very meticulous in his details. Right? Does lake studies. Lake studies up in the Upper Peninsula 200 days a year, and then goes down to Arkansas and follows the migration back north through Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, both Dakotas, and then jumps up into Canada and goes back home into the UP.
Crazy.
And we hired him our first 3 years, but just talking to this guy, I was like, yep, he's our guy, right? So booked a hunt, a couple $100 a day, booked a hunt, drove down to my buddy's house, saw his family again, picked him up. We went it's like 2.5 hours north from his house to where we hunted. And got there Friday, hunted Saturday, Sunday, came home Monday, right? Because I didn't know what to expect. And at the time, I was just like, we'll just go a couple of days, try to feel it out, see what it is. But after that first group came in and gave it up first pass, I said, that's it for me. I don't care if I ever hunt a single thing other than these for the rest of my life. I will do this every day that it's available because I want to do that.
Yeah.
That was a flock that you guys didn't shoot anything out of, right?
That was it. Like 5,000 birds.
Yeah.
5,000 birds above us. 1,000 of them give it up first
Just
pass.
the freaking noise of it all.
We sat up.
Oh my
I blacked
God.
out, squeezed the trigger 3 times, and like never scratched a feather.
Yeah.
This guy's looking at us like, what the? And I go, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
he was like, how's that awesome? You didn't scratch a feather.
Like,
And I go,
doesn't even
I don't-
matter.
I go,
Yeah.
I don't
Doesn't even
care. I just
matter.
want to do that again.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Like a little kid, man. That's awesome.
Dude, it was so cool, and that's where the love of the snow geese came from. And then you fast forward a handful of years, and I had gotten Caleb and his younger brother involved in it. They'd been on a couple of hunts with us, and we were back at his house in Kansas, sitting around his kitchen at the island, kind of brainstorming like, what can we do to make sure that we can hunt these birds a few extra days a year? How can we make some additional money that has something to do with snow geese so that I don't want to be rich doing it.
You just want to be able to fund it back so that you don't have to spend your own
1,000%.
personal.
And every single place I go, I was in Wisconsin last weekend.
Where at Wisconsin?
Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, were you?
I went to go see Aaron Lewis in concert in Wisconsin.
Oh, that was
Dells.
probably a cool concert. I like Aaron
It was
Lewis.
so cool because it was in this super small amphitheater that held maybe 1,000 people.
Yeah. The Dells is a cool place too.
Super cool, right? Yeah. But like, I got tickets for like $57, and I was in the 15th row center stage. I mean, it was nothing.
That's awesome.
It was nothing, right? VRBO cost me $100 a night, and I went hiking and explored the river, and then came back, right? But I was in a sporting goods store in Madison on
which store?
Fontana Sports.
Yep.
I'm in Fontana Sports in Madison on Sunday, and the kid working there, 22, 23 years old tops, I'm looking at a rack of Patagonia base layers.
Yeah.
Right? Because I steelhead fish a lot in the winter.
Yep.
And, like, base layers are super important when the river's 34 degrees, right?
Very.
So I'm standing there, and I had one of my T-shirts on. 85 degrees outside. I just had one of my T-shirts on and a pair of shorts and one of my hats on. And he taps me on the back, and he goes, I got to tell you, that's a pretty cool shirt. And I said, you like it? And he says, I love the logo.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's my company. And he had said, I love the logo, and turned around to go into, like, the back room.
Yeah.
And the second I said, that's my company, he stopped, and he turned around, and he goes, what did you say? And I said, yeah, it's just a little side hustle that I've got. You know, as I said, I've been a waterfowl hunter my whole life. It's a little side hustle. It's actually a snow goose, and I'm just absolutely infatuated with them and just ate up by them.
Yeah.
He said, are you going to buy that stuff that's in your hand? And I said, probably. He goes, good. I'm going to put it on the counter, and what I'm going to have for you when you check out is the owner's name and email address. You really need to email her and tell her your story, because I think we need to sell your stuff in our store.
That is freaking. And you want to know something? This goes back to what I tell Kyle about Wisconsin. It's a lot different vibe than here.
So much
People
different.
are so helpful. People are so friendly. People are so welcoming. And like that, I don't think would happen here.
No.
It's never
absolutely
happened
not.
here.
No.
I'm in
Absolutely
one
not.
retail.
But that is just so genuine and organic and fucking cool. I love hearing stuff like that. It gives me chills.
He takes me over to a display, and he says, these guys are two brothers. We just started putting their stuff in our store a couple of weeks ago. Same or very similar story to yours. They use the same manufacturer as Patagonia and the North Face. And I said, well, here's the thing about my stuff, right?
What's going on, guys? I'm Dakota with Gator Decoys. So we're just going to give you a little brief overview of our company. So I made these awesome products called telescoping spinning wing decoy poles. In our company, they're called Gator poles. So if you have a Mojo or a Lucky Duck, whatever it may be, and you need to get over 4 foot tall, check them out, gatordecoys.com. Also, for you guys hunting up north where it gets super cold and you're tired of beating your poles in the ground, check out our new bases that come out just for you guys. You can thread them into the ground with an impact and attach our poles on top, and you're good to go. Decoys also should be coming out soon this year. So keep us up, or we'll keep you up to date on our website and Instagram. Check it out.
I don't want to charge $95 for a lightweight hooded pullover.
Right.
I want guys like me, guys like Kyle, guys like you, guys like Caleb, who are young guys, figuring out life, getting moving in the whole big world thing. I want them to be able to afford stuff too. I don't need to make $1 bazillion on my stuff. I don't want to make $1 bazillion on it. I want to go to Wisconsin and have that happen. I want to be at the beach bar in Clark Lake, Michigan last summer for an outdoor concert, see some kid that's his age wearing one of my hats. I go over, I go, hey, I'm Mike. That's my hat you're wearing. And he goes, no, it's my hat.
Yeah.
I go, well, sure, it's your hat, but it's my company.
Yeah.
Kid's mind was blown. He goes, no way. And I go, yeah. He goes, I bought it at Shoe Packs. And I said, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I
appreciate the
support.
business. Right.
I appreciate the support, right? He said, coolest hat I've ever seen, coolest logo I've ever seen. And it happens a lot, but like it really was just a way for me to try to create an additional revenue source where exactly what you said, where the money that I'm spending to hunt these things doesn't have to come out of my primary
No, it
bank
comes
account.
out of your side hustle fund that produces the money for you to be able to do it.
And I'm an entrepreneurial spirit through and through.
Yep.
So for me to run this thing, and it's always been about building relationships for me. It's not about like, hey, I'm going to force feed you my product.
Right.
It's if you like it, let's talk about how much of it you want. And then let's talk about it when you need more.
Yeah.
And it's me hiring a guide down in Missouri, Tyson, with Tyson Harris with Harris Outfitters.
We're still going to get him on here, too.
Sure, yeah, we are. I met him in 2021 when we went down for a dry field mallard hunt Thanksgiving weekend, right? Met him, took a box of my stuff down there. I threw it on the counter, and I said, you guys pick through that, and whatever you want, you can have.
Yep.
And they were like, what? This shit's so cool.
Yeah.
You know? And he's been one of my biggest supporters since then. I talked to him just yesterday, as a matter of fact, or day before yesterday, as a matter of fact. He reached out and was like, you know, hey, saw your post. I'm going to send you $65 for a hat and a hoodie.
Yeah.
Fire them off when you get them. Right?
That's crazy.
It's
that's awesome.
So cool, though.
So freaking cool.
Right? I mean, and that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Relationships that I've built with Kyle, where this is my third podcast or whatever. I get to bring Caleb up here. You know, I get to take him down there.
Yeah.
He's met all these guys.
Yeah.
He clicks with all these guys.
Me and you got a lot in common, the way we think.
Sure.
I think that's why we hit it off so well. I was like, this guy reminds me a lot of myself.
Right.
Just a younger version over here. But, dude, I think with that logo, man, you're on to something with that logo.
That was a nice way of saying you're old as shit.
It's okay. I am an old man. I am an old man. That's right.
But I swear that logo, man.
Make fun of my pecker pole.
Yeah, right.
You're the one that said it, bro. So this gray in my beard didn't just happen.
Right.
So
I got white.
Right.
I'm getting there.
So, I mean, and for me, that's what it's been about, right? I mean, for me, it's about the connections that I'm making and the friendships that I'm building, and then it is more than that. It's like when we have similarities, and you get like Kyle over here going, you know, hey man, just come over and hunt with us. And me going, hey, just come down there and hunt with us.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
Right. Caleb and I introduced 4 of his buddies this last spring who had never snow goose hunted. We introduced them. For me, that trip down there, especially because we have our own spread. We have everything we need to hunt snow goose decoys. We acquire permission on a new field.
You guys freelance it through and through, right?
Almost every single year, we knock on another door and gain access to more ground down there because we're not an outfitter, right? We're just some guys that are just going to do it and take care of your stuff like it was ours, and you're never even going to know we were there when we leave. When he and I picked up decoys this last spring, it was 34 degrees and freezing rain.
Oh my! It was brutal.
How many dozen?
We have between 1,500 and 2,000 decoys, and they were
for just a week hunt.
Yeah.
They were 100 yards into the field that we couldn't drive in because it was mud soup.
Yeah.
So you're walking and putting them into cube bags and then throwing a cube bag over each shoulder and hauling them 100 yards out. Like,
holy shit.
And it took us 2 hours to do it.
You talk about love for the game, dog.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to love this shit to your core if you fucking
like I said, though,
doing that.
Yesterday when we were talking about the podcast today, it was like, listen, dude, you're going to love Mike because of the passion that he has behind it. And I couldn't say it about Caleb because I haven't met Caleb yet, but I see it now. But I'm just saying, like, the passion behind it all. It's crazy because I talked to Alex about it the other day, like, through this podcast, to be able to meet the people that we have had on and just interact with other companies and stuff.
Sure.
You know, like Brian whatever that was the other day.
The other day.
Who would have ever thought we were interviewing the guy that films for R&T calls or
R&T TV.
Right? Yeah, R&T TV and Tangle Free.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
And he's right here from Ohio. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's insane that the people that you get to meet and then, like, you share the passion between each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find people that are passionate about the
passionate about the chase of it.
Right.
Not passionate about sitting on the same 7 spots.
Right.
It's passionate about the chase of it, the migration, chasing the migration. That's it.
Like Caleb said to you guys earlier, right? Like, I missed the best part of the entire hunt this last fall because it wasn't happening enough for us. So I said, you guys stay here and hunt just in case. I'm going to go find some more birds.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll never forget the phone call for as long as I live. I'm on top of, like, the tallest point in the history of ever where we hunt. And I'm driving around and he calls and he's just like, Dad, you just missed it. I can't believe you just missed it. You should have stayed here. You just missed it.
It was,
man.
I promise you, it was It's tough to even put into words.
YouTube don't do it justice, folks. I swear to God, you got to see this shit in person because it's crazy.
It was you had to be there and witness it type of thing.
I've never had it happen. I've never had a tornado over me.
Obviously, you see all the videos and stuff of like giant spins and this and that, but when you're doing it yourselves like we are, and 9 times out of 10, it's just cool, it's him and I. It's a week of him and I, balls to the walls,
grinding our faces.
We don't.
off.
Yeah.
We pull up to a field. We look at each other, just kind of give a head nod, and we for 2, 3, 4 hours, however long it takes to spread, we might not say 2 words to each other.
Yeah.
Because we're just
locked in.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like we know how we want it, and we know what we're doing, and all that you put in all that work for one spin like that,
worth it.
Completely worth it.
Yeah,
completely worth it.
I agree, dude.
I mean, and it was like I explained earlier. Like you have a bunch spinning one way, and then you look above them, and you got another bunch spinning another way, and then you got like smaller groups diving down in on you.
Right,
you don't know where to look.
So we had it like this year. I think was one of the best. And it wasn't even that good, but it was like the best snow goose encounter of hunting I've had, and they would come like in decoy in the 15s and 20s. We never had any spins, but still, even that, and just the waves that they come in across the field. Like when they're up off another field and they're coming over, man, they're coming over.
I love those waves. I love those waves as much as I love the big spins.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was cool for me to introduce his buddies. And like, I think I mentioned it at lunch, but like the first 2.5 days, really, we shot him at 15 yards right in the hole. Like
that's unreal.
Like they knew that's what we needed.
Yeah.
They did it for us.
Yeah.
And a couple of the groups were like, the first couple of groups, one was a 5-pack and I think one was a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And there's 4 of us in the blind, and I looked at his buddies and I go, okay, guys, no survivors here, so they can't go back and tell on us.
Yeah.
And we did it. We wiped them both out, both groups completely out. And then you're like, shit, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
And what's so awesome about that is you're injecting this passion into his buddies now that you're turning into like little troops for the snow goose hunting, which is
that's
like
all I
you're
want.
just fucking creating your army a lot bigger. Guys that are sick and obsessed with it.
Grow the army.
Yeah.
Baby. That's what it's about. And that's what I mean, that's why
I love it.
That's why I take people.
Yeah.
And it's why I will, for as long as I'm able to, I will do this. But also for as long as I'm able to, I will go down there and work harder than anybody else in the world to make sure that you have a good time or that you have a good time. I'm going to have a good time no matter what.
Right.
But I want you to say exactly what all 4 of the people we had down there did this year. When they left, they were like, next time you go, we're in. We want to know.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Make sure you tell us 5 months prior.
Right. And
we're going to start saving money.
The one guy I grew up with, I didn't even know he was coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like one of
it was one of my buddies that I used to work with. I wouldn't technically say work with him, but it was he drives a concrete truck, and when I was doing concrete, we always got concrete from that company, and 9 times out of 10 I'd see him, and we got to talking. He had just got back from a trip, and he was like, hey, if you got extra room, I was like, if you can swing it, like, I know you just got back from one, so if you can't go, that's understandable, but if you want to go, we have room.
Okay.
And
that was cool.
He's like, hey, I'll be there, and I'm bringing one more guy. Is that okay? I go, yeah.
More the merrier.
Yeah, ain't no big deal.
We got room,
yeah.
And like he was saying, these guys show up. We're taking our mid-afternoon naps when it's slow.
Yeah.
These guys pull up, and the one dude is someone that we've both knew forever.
He was my next door neighbor when I was growing up. I've literally known him my whole life, and he's a whitetail guy. I didn't even know he hunted birds. Right?
What?
He gets out, and I turn around. I'm getting in the trailer for something or other. I think I was getting out. I was getting out something for them to sit down on.
What the f*** are you doing here, man? What the hell? Did you sneak in a trunk?
I go, what, are you lost?
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
I said, you don't hunt birds, you hunt deer.
Yeah.
He goes,
what are
no.
the odds of that?
I mean,
that's insane.
That's
it was
pretty
crazy,
wild.
but it showed me a completely different side of him that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Because he's super stoic and he's really quiet and he never says much. And you're like, sometimes you want to reach over and just check him for a pulse. I'm like,
Right.
Craig, are you still alive over there, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I'm here.
That's the
And-
hardest thing. Like, seeing like people go into that like different environment wise and seeing the passion behind it. That's what I love, especially like this past turkey season, bringing people out or waterfowl hunting. But it's so hard to like find those people that are like wanting to
love
do it
this
afterwards
shit.
or wanting to keep
100%.
doing it. You know what I mean?
I
It's
tell
nuts.
people all the time, or they see it for the first time, right? You tell them, and I saw a meme a while back that's perfect. It says, God made Canada geese so that everyone could shoot a geese, but he made snow geese so the real men can shoot geese.
Okay.
Separate
Right.
the men from
See
the
how
boys.
Kyle feels about
Right. So
Let's wrap this up.
So I tell people all the time, I'm like, the reason more people don't snow goose hunt is because it's an insane amount of work. And you and I have talked about it, where he and I switch spreads after an evening hunt. We finish at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We drive 20 minutes back to the hotel. The alarm clock goes off at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And you drive another 20 minutes back to the field that it felt like you just left 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then you hunt for 14 hours.
I think the biggest thing with me with that, it's funny you brought that up because I think about this all the time. The only thing that the work don't scare me. The money putting into it don't scare me either. It's more of like going down to these fields and you don't know if guides have these fields leased, all right? And then we go knock on a door and I've heard, because I know so many people in the industry, you hear stories of people like chasing each other down, or if you're hunting a field right next to a guide's field, he's going to try and fuck you over. And I just down there, you know.
That's why we very purposefully hunt away from the masses.
Yeah.
Could I go 25 minutes south and west of where we hunt?
Yeah.
And pay $500 or $300 a day to hunt a field? I could.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna.
Right.
Right? Because I only get to do it 7, 8, 10 days a year by myself.
Yeah.
But more so, I don't want to fight the crowd.
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough, and I understand that there's enough out there for all of us to win, right?
Right.
There's, like, you can't possibly try to convince me that if they're, like, the refuge's magic number is 1 million snow geese. Like, and you're telling me that you have to fight me about a field because there's only 1 million on the refuge?
Yeah, that's kind of now that you put it that way. It's
Eat
like
a bag of dicks.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? Like, we very specifically hunt where we hunt because up until a couple of years ago, ours was probably one of 2 spreads in the entire area. The other one's a permanent spread, and these guys just come down and hunt the same field every single year because they know the farmer, and it is absolutely shit stacked with them every single year.
Okay.
So
you guys got it down to a science just from
I
going
wouldn't
down there.
say it's a science.
With the permission part or the field part?
I would say we know enough that we're really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
But as far as a science goes, and we still have our moments,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we show up down there this year. We know we got people coming with us. We get everything set up. We go out to the field the first morning, and our goddamn sound system's not working.
I was gonna say it's always
I was pissed.
Oh, it was
I was
meltdown
mad.
central. Both of us.
what did it end up being?
A set of brand new batteries that I bought for the caller that were no good. I literally went and bought a second set of batteries. Problem solved.
And that was it?
That was it. Well,
here's the worst part of it.
It
I
all
didn't buy the
started.
batteries until 1 o'clock that afternoon because I was like, those are brand new batteries.
Well,
There's no way they don't work.
We didn't.
Yeah.
So with brand new batteries, I think that batteries is the problem.
Right.
Like it
You
never
wouldn't-
crossed our mind.
No, I would have been like, I just put
Right.
these. There's no way
Yeah.
it could be the battery. You just put
Right.
it. It's like you just
Yeah.
plug your phone in.
Right.
But no,
I
we
made a call home. Very special person to me was like, Mike, you got to check the batteries. And I went, there's no way. It's a brand new set of batteries. Just humble me and get a new set and check the batteries.
Yeah,
boom. We got a caller.
that's awesome.
And I had just spent most of the last 4 hours just completely melting down.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not working hard enough for this. Maybe I don't deserve this. This is bullshit. I'm gonna
Start second-guessing
I'm gonna pack
everything.
this shit up.
Yep.
I said I'm selling all my shit when I get back. This is I don't
Sounds
know.
like me on the water out here. Why the fuck
fuck do I even do this?
I don't know why I forced Caleb to suffer through this bullshit planning all the time. This is absolute dumb.
Brutal.
Dude, you guys are my kind of people, man. I knew it the minute I met you.
It's the same thing up here, though. Like with our hunting, though, you do all the work, you do all this for everybody else, trying to make everybody else happy, and like drag them through the mud. It's like, it's a banger hunt.
Yeah.
Just trust me on coming down.
Yeah. And Grant, we don't have a caller. We have two guys that this is the first time they've ever snow goose hunted, and it's a complete shit storm right off the bat. And I'm like, guys, it's never like this. Like, I'm sorry.
And
so he's out running around trying to find something just so we have some sort of sound. I'm in the blind, snow goose call, like just me.
Yeah.
We got hundreds of decoys out, and I got one snow goose call that I'm just absolutely like blowing my lungs out trying to make something work.
Make one of them at least look, right?
And
Band
it was
falling off of the call and everything.
and
it was
you'll have that on these big jobs.
Yeah, you will. Fuck yeah, you will.
Like I'm just going to town on this call, and I'm swallowing chew spit, so like I'm trying to blow the call and I'm gagging at the same time. It's just a complete clusterfuck, all because I want to give these guys a first, like a good first impression.
So much of the way me and Kyle think. Too.
And if we had sound, that would have been it would have, without a doubt, it would have been the best morning we've ever had. Because there were birds fucking everywhere.
That's even worse.
How do you? So another question: What do you guys pure layout?
No. A-frames.
We used to.
A-frames?
We used to.
That's the big question with snow goose hunting.
Our guide buddy Tyson, he's like, why do you guys even fuck with layouts anymore? Like we went from layouts, and then we tried those dive bomb backboards with the ghillie blankets.
Yeah, the kickbacks.
Yeah.
And then
super comfortable.
Like one day, we shot. It was like 3 days into the hunt, and I think we shot like 2 birds. You know what? Fuck it. We're putting up an A-frame, and we're gonna brush this. We're gonna brush this shit out of this with swamp grass.
How many A-frames you guys running?
We got 2 now.
We got 2 now, but it's just because there's no need for more than that, right?
Yeah.
So
we could
yes and no in my opinion.
No. I mean, if you don't have enough people, why would you set up the extra?
Because of the tree line, you're making it look.
We're right in the middle of the field.
We're in the middle of goddamn cornfield.
We pick the highest point in the field and throw the shit right there in the middle.
That's a different thing with snows.
And our numbers skyrocket.
Listen, Hawk at Prim Springs Outfit in Arkansas, we've had on quite a bit. He's a good buddy of mine, Kyle's. He tells me all the time, snow geese, he swears to God that snow geese are the smartest goose to hunt.
Without a doubt. It's not even close.
That's what he said.
It's not even close.
He says he's hunted everything, and he says snow geese will stump him every fucking time if they get the chance.
Do you know there's a double meaning to the logo or to the apparel company name? Well, it's flipping birds because they maple leaf so much, but also because there are more days than not that you want to just give them the middle finger and say, I don't care if I ever see another one of you rat bastards ever again.
I never even knew that. I swear to God, every time I talk to Mike, I learn something.
It felt like we changed 2 big things on how we did it with being the blinds, A-frames, and we used to run ground sound. We'd have, just a cheap plastic tackle box, you'd have the amplifier, MP3, all that stuff, and then we'd have like 6 or 7 bighorn speakers that we'd run out through the spread. Well, one day, same thing. We were having sound problems, and it was already a tough year, and little to no sleep, and I was
furious.
I was livid.
Rightfully so. Because we had hunted all day the day before.
Yeah.
Watched about 75,000 to 100,000 light in the field across the street, which was our farmer's brother-in-law's place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Do you think he'd give us permission?" And I said, "I don't know how the divorce went, but like, is he going to let us hunt if he knows that we know you?" And he goes, "I'll call him right now."
This was that trip. We finished our afternoon hunt, picked up the entire spread that night, reset it, and then it was like
knowing we had one more day left
we had
to hunt.
one day.
We had 1 day left to hunt.
Next morning comes, birds are coming. I go to flip on the collar, it starts skipping and everything else. I picked that shit up and threw it halfway across the field. I said, "We're done." I said, "We'll pack. I don't even care. We're packing up. I'm done."
That's it.
That's fucked.
It was an epic meltdown. It was an epic meltdown, but it was
probably
very deserving.
like I've had some meltdowns. I will be the first to tell you I've had some meltdowns, and that was probably the worst one that I've ever had.
But it was very, very justified.
Because if you think about it, we put all this time and effort and manpower and everything into trying just one.
Dude,
one.
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Spin.
I'm a hockey player and I fought a lot in hockey, so you can only imagine.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I'd
it was
break
just
everything around me.
Absolute meltdown.
Yeah. We literally hunted for almost 14 hours that day.
Insane.
Already. And then it takes an hour and a half for two of us to pick up the spread, literally throw it in the trailer.
And we're hunting in a field that was kind of wet, so your boots are 30 pounds by the time you're done.
Drive it across the street, reset it, which for two of us is about 4.5 hours. So now we're at 20 hours. You go, you get an hour and a half to 2 of sleep. You show up the next morning, and the birds do exactly what you needed them to do.
And you have no sound.
And you have no
sound.
It's worse than no sound. It was.
You would hear like a bark or two of
Sound
it,
like a Dr.
and then
Dre song.
just nothing. Like I was so mad, and it was a couple years ago now. I think one of the guides at the outfitter was like, "Why don't you guys just get a bighorn speaker?" We go, "What are you talking about?"
It's a megaphone.
He goes, "Get a megaphone to where you can plug an SD card in with downloaded tracks, and I promise you, shit's gonna change." And
you just
night and day difference.
You just point it right at
I'll sit there on the one end of the blind with the dog, and like 9 times out of 10, I'm watching the dog.
Yeah,
because like dog sees the bird. So like
we were just talking about
if they get to a point to where I can't see them because I don't want to spin, I'm watching the dog.
100%.
And
that's an experience thing.
I will sit there with the bighorn speaker or the megaphone
and follow his
just
head,
point it right at the birds, and then when they go to somewhere I can't see, I'm watching him and
point it
like
that way.
this.
Smart.
And you literally you guide them right into the hole.
You'll guide them right down into the hole.
That's crazy.
It's unreal. Cool.
Like never would I think that an A-frame brushed with swamp grass in the middle of a cut cornfield would work.
Yeah.
And you got a megaphone as a caller.
Yeah.
And our numbers went up.
When our outfitter buddy Tyson told us about that, both of those things. Right, both the A-frame.
Like, dude,
he's like,
lost
why are you?
Your mind?
Yeah,
you have lost your mind.
He goes, why are you still in layup lines? Just set up an A-frame. And I go, dude, there's no way you can tell me that'll.
Yeah,
because you try to do that here, not a chance.
No,
zero. Chance.
Not a chance.
So for the A-frames, the only reason why I say over 2, like we'll run 4 and we will have 5 people.
Okay,
because it makes it more of a tree line instead of just a block in the middle of the field. That's the reason why I was asking.
I can understand.
Totally follow you.
But that's for the geese up here, not down there.
Yeah. It does not seem to bother them. And it blows my mind. Like I said, down there this year, the first 2.5 days, we're literally shooting them at 15 yards in the hole and giggling about wiping out an entire group that came in.
Yeah,
I'm just giggling, nuts. Going, there's no way this is happening.
Yeah.
Right? We're on top. We're 2/3 of the way up a hill on a shelf.
Yeah.
Zerlin's plateau down there for drainage.
Going down into a bowl because that's
got the spread going down the hill, so it looks like they're feeding up the
upward,
hill. Right? Because snow geese will feed up a hill. And like we're at the top 15, 20 yards off to the side, and it looks like they're feeding right past this little patch of brush on top of this hill, and we're just shit stomping them. And I was like giggling, going, there's no way this works.
Yeah.
There's no way this works.
Awesome.
No,
there's no way this works.
I heard, or I've seen anyway, the turtle boxes, the new speakers. A lot of people have been using those. I've been seeing those Bluetooth speakers out in the middle of their snow spreads.
Sure.
I don't know.
So the problem with
like if it works, awesome. But like,
have you guys seen that? Or
how
no?
you got to also think like
it.
how many do you have to cover your entire spread
Probably
where
3 or
there's
4,
where
like
there's
300
constant
piece.
sound the entire time.
So
How much a piece? The turtle boxes?
They're like $400 a piece.
right.
Oh, I thought they were more than that.
Right.
They might be.
I think they're like 600 a piece.
So the
Screw
problem with ground sound when it comes to snows is that they're assholes. B,
snow geese.
Yes, snow geese.
Well,
are.
any geese, yeah.
Right. Snow geese especially, right?
Right.
So it happened this year when I ran back down to the truck to grab something else to drink. I had an extra water in the truck. I'm down there, and as soon as I got down there, I hear one go, meh, meh, And I turn around, and there's about 40 of them coming in hot to the spread. And I went, well, of course I'm down at the truck when that's happening. This is dumb.
That's when you flip the bird.
Right.
To them, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Flipping bird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Me being me, I said, I'm just going to sit down next to the truck and trailer, and I'm going to videotape this wipeout, and it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because they were committed. If we have ground sound, like those birds come in and they spun 5 different times before these guys took a shot. And if you have ground sound as they're spinning, the second they don't hear sound from one portion of the spread or another, they'll bug out.
That's the hardest part with like hunting wise in general for like going down there. You know, it's just like the story that we talked about with, hey, is it going to be worth it me coming over there kind of thing?
Right.
If you don't love this stuff, man, don't even bother me
Right.
asking anything about hunting.
If you're not trying to at least get better, and the thing for me is, if I'm going to introduce other people to this, it's very easy for them to say, yeah, that was pretty okay, but no, that's a lot of work, and I don't want to do that again. Right?
Okay, don't bug me about it then.
Right, right. So if I'm going to do this for other people, I have to be wired in a way where I'm going to go just as hard as hell. And if you don't want to be involved in it, that's fine. Right? Go back to the hotel, go back to wherever we're staying.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay here until this is done.
Right.
Right? Because I know what it takes to get it done. And I know that if I don't do it to the best of my ability, tomorrow's going to be real frustrating for all of us. Because they're going to hang up at 80 yards, pick us apart, as snow geese do. They will pick you apart, and then they'll just dip a wing and bug out. And you go, well, like, how come they didn't do it?
Right.
You know, so you're out there ding-donging around with decoys. You're like, do I put flyers up? Do I not put flyers up? Do I turn off the rotary? Do I not turn off the rotary? Like, do I take the rotary down? Do I leave the rotary up? Like, what is it? And because they're hunted 10 months a year, especially during the spring conservation order, they see the same spread 7,000 times in 3 hours, right? Because everybody's got the same 1,500 to 2,000 decoys. They've got a couple of rotaries. They've got some flyers that maybe they put on a pole and are stationary in the decoy spread. And I want to do something different.
Which you are.
I am, for sure.
Which we'll get into that in a little bit here.
Yeah. So I just want it to be different.
Right.
I want to be away from the masses so that, like, they I call it running the gauntlet. When they leave the refuge, they run the gauntlet for the first 30 miles, right? Because they're getting out of town, and if there's a field that exists currently that's within 10 miles of that refuge that doesn't have a snow goose spread in it, I'm not aware where that field might be.
Right.
Right? So they run the gauntlet for the first 30 miles, and then by the time they get to us, they go, whew, thank God we're done with that. Now we can relax. But, like, wait a minute, there's some buddies right there, and I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go down there and take a look.
30 miles these geese are flying out of there.
That's crazy.
insane.
Dude, they fly 30 more miles, 40 more miles north of us every day just to turn around and come back because there's no open water.
That's insane. Because, like,
And it's every day.
It's every day.
Same
around
thing
here-
every day.
our geese, they'll fly, but, like, technically migrators can be, 5 to 10 miles away that come to your roost, and that's, they're good there now. Not 30 miles.
That's insanity.
Day 2 or 3, we'll watch them do it again, and we'll be like, okay, well, they'll be back later.
That's nuts.
Because we know that they're going to go there, they're going to see there's no open water, and they're coming right back to where there's water and food.
And they do it every day. And you can always tell, I call them scout groups, right? Because they're 17 miles high, and they're not a thing on their mind
They look this big in the sky.
Other than, I'm going to go as far north as I can until I go, no, it's not worth it to migrate today, where I'm going to turn around and I'm going to come back. But on the way back, I'm going to stop before I loaf for the rest of the day. I'm going to stop and get my belly full.
Because we were just talking to Brian about those migrator groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, around here for us anyway, we don't get a lot of migrators. It seems like they just show up at night half the time. It seems that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will have birds 600-700 yards up in the air, and they're like, well, migrators. It's like, no, they're just flying.
Right.
It's not true.
You should hear how many kids around here say that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I just look at them, I'm like, dude, you just gave away that
Right.
you're a noob, man.
Right. And we don't have to worry about you shooting our birds.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
There's a lot of people though, even I would assume with the snow geese too, because especially with wannabe outfitters, quote unquote.
There's a lot of pop-up outfitters since the conservation. So like in 2010 when I found them, it didn't feel like there were that many outfitters out there, right? But whether it be social media, whether it be YouTube, whether it be whatever it is, the conservation order in the spring has gained immense popularity in the last 6 or 7 years, which is cool, right? Because it's the whole idea behind it is to significantly reduce the population of snow geese in all 4 flyways to a manageable level. Right. Because initially when this thing came out, they thought, well, these snow geese are going to eat themselves into extinction because of the fact that they estimate that they burn 30,000 calories a day when they migrate because they have a very specific couple of breeding grounds in the tundra north of Saskatchewan and the boreal forest over in Alaska. And then, when they get up there, whatever they don't eat, that is that ecosystem, they shit on, and their shit is so toxic that it kills the vegetation. So they're like, what are we going to do, right? Well, from, let's call it 2018 to 2022 maybe, there was 4 brand new record hatches. Every single year. Like 1 year, brand new record hatch. Next year, holy Ned, brand new record hatch. Following year, 90% of the hatch perished because of a freak snowstorm in Saskatchewan in April or whatever.
Yeah.
Then the next year, holy crap, we got a brand new record hatch. And the population in the Central and the Mississippi Flyway has quadrupled since 1998 when they started the conservation order. Right? But like what you get with all of these new guide services is you get guys targeting the back half or back third of the migration because they're all the juvenile birds, right? They're all the young dumb ones that all do it as dirty as anything you'll ever see. Right?
This is what's crazy.
I've seen that for myself. They are stupid.
They're just dumb.
They're just dumb.
Well, and they're tired and they're super hungry.
Yeah.
Name people around here besides me and you that are that passionate, like Mike and his son here, that look back at the history of all this stuff or like the breeding grounds.
Yeah, and do their actual research.
And to meet like guys like you and Caleb here where
I can't learn enough.
No, me either about all of it.
Because
I
want to
know it all.
About it. And there's now the people want to act like they are, but they're not doing the research like what you were just saying.
You got guys over here on Facebook, they'll repost a Delta Waterfowl or a Ducks Unlimited
and that's
thing,
it.
and that's it. It's like, oh, you must do. Fuck, we all know you're bullshit, you know?
And that's the craziest thing, like, the fakes out there, I guess. You know, like
you're never going to stop them.
It's social media, and social media's only made it worse.
Well, it's made it worse and it's made it better, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Sure, it's a very double-edged
sword. It's a horse apiece, I like
right?
to say.
Because what I do every January or minimally every February, I start looking at refuge numbers. And
about February, I would say, mid-February, and I know that they only post numbers once a week, but I'm every day on the Facebook page, just looking at numbers and trying to see if there's any new information on what's going on.
To give you the edge.
Yes.
Well, not even to give you the edge, but to give you the information you need, right? Because without it, I'm 10 and a half hours from that refuge. I don't know how many birds are on there.
Right.
I can't see that it's loading up.
Right.
I can look at refuge numbers, and I can look at the weather data for what's coming.
Yeah.
Right? And then... more than that, I can look at the guys that I know are in Arkansas right now.
Yep.
What are they doing? What are they saying?
Right.
Yep. Because when I created this apparel company, I went through on my Facebook account, and if you had a snow goose or were a snow goose guide, or you had your profile picture had some waterfowl in it, I said, add a friend, add a friend, add a friend, add a friend. And I said, these people don't know me for Adam. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden, they all see my profile picture. That's our first morning from 2016.
Yeah.
Where the entire tailgate of my truck is a giant stack of snows that we had
Right.
laid waste to.
I think that morning was 27 before 10 o'clock.
Yep. Yeah.
For us, that's a good morning.
For us,
I was
that's
going
a
to
good
say
morning.
that's pretty good.
For us, that's a good
For
morning.
what you guys are doing.
So the average is 20 a day.
Yeah.
People see all these, and the Eagle Head Outdoors video is amazing.
Yeah.
It energizes the shit out of me, right? But those are atypical results. Caleb's got a buddy that went down to Arkansas with a guide service for his very first snow goose hunt. Freak snowstorm down there. They shot 220 that morning.
And the only reason they even stopped was because they couldn't find anywhere else to buy ammo.
That's not the one that runs the lodge out, is it?
I don't think so.
But I told him, I said, that'll never happen for you ever again.
It might, but it'll be a very long time, I bet.
Before it happens.
It may, but the chances are slim,
Yeah.
right? You just had the perfect storm of things happening right there, and your guide did his job and scouted, and there were lots of birds in the area.
Yeah.
And kudos
Just-
to you.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome. I'm super happy for you, right? But, like,
It's not always like that.
it's not
Right.
typical, and
Well,
people...
that's social media looking at all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Sure,
you
and
know?
people see all these videos and they go, man, I got to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, then they go down there and they shoot 4 and they go, this is bullshit. Fuck this guide, fuck this hunting.
Yeah.
This guy's a clown show. I wouldn't hire him for nothing. And then a bad review goes out there.
Yeah, we got to
Right.
stay in a hotel room. This,
Right,
that, and the other.
right.
But
Like,
there's been trips where
you
we
didn't tell me we were going to have to stay in a hotel. I thought I was
There's-
staying for free.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
there's
Glad you
doing
picked up on that.
there's been trips that we've went down for an entire week and did nothing but watch birds migrate. Did not pull the
See,
trigger
that's the
once.
thing, though.
That's
like,
yeah.
I like that, though.
I love that, though.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like just
It was
Like you have to know that it can happen,
It can
and
happen.
it will
You
happen.
could roll me
People-
out there
It's
on
not-
hospice. That'd be the last thing I want to see.
people
It
make
was
fun of me.
73 degrees when we were setting the spread that day, and when we woke up the next morning, it was 32
I was
degrees
gonna
and
say,
had
and
snowed 2.5
snowing.
inches.
It's
Snowing
crazy how it can
sideways.
switch like that.
And
I know.
and a handful of years ago when we went down there, it was 34, 32 degrees. The day we got down there, got to 52 overnight, and everything melted, and the river rose 12 feet overnight.
Holy
that.
shit.
Flooded
That's insane.
everything. Flooded everything.
That's what I was going to ask you too. So, like, you know, the Arctic blast we had this year.
Sure.
I was down in Arkansas when that first was coming through. We actually had to drive home from Arkansas in all that shit all the way back up to Wisco, dude. That was a nightmare. We almost got snowed in on the road.
Oh, yeah.
We were in freaking 3, 4, 5 feet of snow, man. It was
Yeah.
insane. Did that? I was going to ask you, have like with the snow goose population, did that? I know it killed a lot. No, didn't even make a dent.
Nope.
Really? That's freaking.
Because they hadn't
It just
nested.
shows you how many
they hadn't
there are.
nested yet.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
that's true. Yeah, it was too early for them. Yeah.
I mean, they hadn't nested.
Yeah.
Yet. Their gestation period's like 30 to 45 days.
Yeah.
In like end of May, early June.
How are the numbers on the avian flu this year?
I didn't hear anything about avian flu this year. There's
It
a
was like
few.
COVID.
There's a few, but it wasn't like it was 2 years ago when we were at the refuge.
We went to the refuge, and the majority of what we seen was dead birds.
Really?
Yep.
on their back,
And
bleeding profusely.
You would see birds head on their back just
Gross.
swimming in circles.
That's
I
fucking
mean,
sad. I don't like
Yeah.
hearing that shit.
like
There's-
this.
I gotta
swimming in
Yeah.
circles.
Yeah, it was.
It's bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
So, I mean, that's basically just disappeared then?
I mean,
Mother Nature's way of balancing it, things. You know what I mean?
Has there been something that has changed in the water, or like the snow goose hunting, whether it was a spring hunt or the regular season hunt? I felt like I heard something about like the numbers or something.
So Texas was the first state to say that we're not going to have a conservation order in the spring next year.
Okay.
South Dakota is now trying to be the second, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But again, it's and
They want us to get rid of these birds because they're so destructive, and then they turn around and do something like this.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit here, but it's big government, right? Like, tell me that the wildlife biologists in the state of Michigan are out there hunting Canada geese.
They're not.
Because you cannot sell me that all of these season date changes and you go from 5 a day to 3 a day, and you can't shoot them for this week, but you can shoot them the week after that because we want to protect them. Like, shut your mouth.
Right.
Like, talk to someone who owns a golf course and ask them, should there be a closed season on Canada geese ever?
Yeah.
Right?
Literally ruin the whole course.
Right. And it's because we live in an area where there are a boatload of golf courses, these golf course owners are pissed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are.
Like, just come out here and wipe these things out.
Yeah.
Get these shitting pieces of shit off my golf course.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a nuisance permit for those out there?
It would be hard for me to get one probably because I don't own anything, right? I could certainly have the owner of the golf course apply for one. But again, you're dealing with big government and they're not like, common sense doesn't mean shit to them. They don't want to hear about it, right?
I don't know how that all works, but I might be able to help you out with that.
Well, and it's something we could have a conversation about for sure, right? But a lot of the people in our area will complain that we hate these stupid ass Canada geese.
They don't want to shoot them.
And I'm like,
They won't let you help out with it.
Yeah.
I happen to be a goose hunter and I could help you out. And they're like, shit, no, you're not firing a weapon on my property. Get
Yeah.
out of here, you idiot.
Well, then.
Right, then stop fucking complaining about it.
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
spot with the flooded hole we have. I don't know if you've seen the videos of that flooded hole we have.
I don't know if I have either. Or I don't know if I've shown him.
You've seen it, though.
I think
no?
so, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll have people honking the horn, stopping on the side of the road, flipping us off when we're going across the road. And it's just like, what are you doing, man?
100%.
It's like,
100%.
we're being safe. You have no... I had a lady this year. It was... I don't know if you were... No, it was not with you. It was,
No.
it was somebody else.
It would have been memorable if it was with me.
No, it was...
You'd have remembered.
But so we went out there, and the lady's like, "Oh man, I just love the turkeys. I love them all." I'm like, "Listen, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that I have more of a passion and respect for these birds more than anybody you'll meet,
I do too.
including
They
yourself."
taste delicious.
Yeah.
I love them. Especially deep fat fried.
Right. Right.
But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, there's more of a passion behind
Sure.
the hunt compared to like just
Right.
going out there and killing.
Right.
And
Then your state land whitetail deer hunter.
Oh, God.
homeowners don't know that, or like landowners don't
Right.
realize that with actual passionate hunters.
Sure.
And it's getting ruined year after year after year with the guys that just want to go out there and kill or Facebook.
Well, in every
Pages
news story
and-
that hits mainstream media,
It's bad.
Guns are bad.
Yeah. Oh,
Guns
God.
are bad. Take all the guns.
ATF's been showing
Sounds
up to
just like
people's
that.
houses. Have you
Right,
been seeing the videos on that?
I have
No.
not.
ATF has been showing up. I've just watched. I went through a rabbit hole this morning when I was on the toilet, man. ATF's been showing up all over the country to people's houses that have bump stocks and stuff and demanding and then using force to get the guns out of the house if you don't give them to them. Which I don't even know how that's legal, but
That's
What's
brutal.
crazy about that, though?
That is
I don't know, man. You do that around here? I don't know, man.
It'll wrap around like to the DNR for us. Like, I would
Lots
hate
of
to be
lakes
that
in this
officer that
area.
has to do that because of the fact, like, the people that are doing that, they don't want to, I feel like.
Right.
Like, same with the DNR. They put all these, like, when the coyote season went out for us, they put it on the DNR. It wasn't the DNR because name one DNR officer that's going to care that you kill a coyote.
Right. I haven't
They
met them
want-
yet.
not
I
a
haven't met them
single
yet.
one.
But it's gonna they're putting it on the DNR for them to like look bad, just like those cops out there. It ain't their. It's not like what they want to do,
Right.
but higher ups are paying their checks that are doing that kind of stuff.
They have
It's
to
just-
do it, yeah.
To go back to what you were saying, like with the DNR and making the rules, it's the higher ups over that, and the DNR just has to do their job.
Comes
because
down the
that's what
shit
they're-
chain.
Yeah,
Just like corporate.
Yeah, but like let's look at numbers, right? And when I hired Bill Artwich, I very quickly learned that I could ask him anything and he was going to answer the question. So for the first 3 years I snow goose hunted, we bombed this poor guy with questions. My buddy Jeff and I just like probably like a 6-year-old at his first day of school and just like why
Yeah.
why tell me more why
Yeah.
tell me, what about this why hey Bill why hey Bill and,
see what you're looking forward to.
Yeah. I can't wait.
And this guy just kept very graciously answering our questions because he was built like we were, where
Yeah.
he's like, you guys, if you want the information, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you. Right? So when he lost his dog, Gunner, after the 3rd year we hired him, I called him to hire him for a 4th year to go down there, and he's like, I just can't do it without Gunner. Right? I lost him last fall.
Respectfully.
Yeah, and I said, I respect you. He said, I'd be happy to recommend some additional outfitters that I trust very highly that you'll have a great time. Right? So for the next 3 years, we went with 3 different outfitters. First year,
Smart.
First year, pretty good experience, but we were supposed to hunt in Missouri. This guy calls me and says, hey, too cold up there still. If you want to come this weekend still, you're going to have to come down to Arkansas. I've got you a hotel room. Let me know by tomorrow whether you're coming or not. So I called my buddy and I said, looks like it's about 6.5 hours more from your house.
Yeah.
So it's 12 hours to his house, 6.5 more to where the birds were at. I said, do you want to go? And he's like, sure, yeah, let's go. If they've got us a hotel, it's a couple of days, let's go. So we went, only hunted for 2 days again because we were just there for the weekend.
Yep.
Second day, ice storm.
That was our last day.
It was our last day.
We were leaving that day.
We get up, and he goes, guys, this rain is supposed to turn to ice by noon, but I promise you, if you will just suffer through this with me, it will be the most epic snow goose hunt you'll ever have. And I
Fighting
said,
tooth and nail, I'm sure.
He was. And I was like, I've got a bunch of clothes.
I think I had on everything that I packed.
I am certain.
You
everything.
Emptied the whole duffel bag on yourself.
I am certain that I had every piece of camouflage waterfowl hunting gear that I own on because, again, it's 33 degrees, and they were forecasting for 3/8 of an inch of rain.
Holy smokes.
1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of rain. Right?
Frozen.
Super bad. But
and on top of that, you got whatever mile per hour wind blowing right down your back.
Yeah.
It was, the roost was behind us, and it was barely light and pouring to beat hell. And you look out at the end of your gun barrel, and it wasn't water running down your gun. It was water hitting your gun and turning to ice. Turn into ice.
I've had a couple days like that. I've seen,
Instantly. First group lifts up off the refuge. He says, get down, cover up. They come right around our left shoulder, gave it up. For first pass. They didn't even spin. They went down to the foot of the spread. They got low. He called the shot at like 30 yards. We sat up, dumped a bunch of them, and then he turns around and goes, holy shit, here comes more. Load up, cover up. Your fingers are barely working. You're jamming shells into your gun. At one point, I went to throw a shell in my gun and accidentally hit the button on the side, so the magazine closed. I smashed my goddamn finger
in the cold.
Oh, yeah. And then he calls the shot. I get up, and there's an empty shell in my in the chamber. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. And that's where Flippin' Bird was created.
It was like that for like 2.5 hours.
It was nonstop.
All right. Jump up, get a volley, turn around. Here they come.
Load
do
up,
it again.
cover up. Here we go. There's more coming.
What was the total count that day?
I don't even remember, but the part of it that I do remember is that 6.5 hour drive back. So like we quit at 11:30.
Yeah,
we quit at 11:30. I looked at my buddy Jeff, and he looked at me, and I said, I can't feel my fingers anymore. I'm soaked to the bone, and I've got 75 pounds of clothing on right now.
That's soaked.
I can't do this anymore. I'm absolutely too cold to do this.
Yeah.
And the guide was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. Like, we're done. We're done. It's new."
Yeah.
That 6.5 hour drive home to his house took us 13 hours.
Holy shit.
5 miles an hour up and down through the mountains with my heat on as high as it could go. My wipers wiping as fast as they could wipe off my windshield.
Scary shit.
And I kept a hole in the windshield open about the size of a dinner plate. My buddy in the passenger seat catching flies,
and you're just sitting there
knuckling. This guy in the back seat just dead.
That's
right?
Fine. I would rather sleep through that than
I'm going 5 miles an hour winding up hills and down hills through the mountain while semis are just ripping past me, and I'm like, here's where I die.
Yeah.
And my buddy's like, he wakes up about 4 hours into the drive back, and he goes, oh my God, we're still in the mountains. I go, dude, I can't I'm in 4-wheel drive and I don't trust it to go more than 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I like when we're going downhill, I just completely let off the gas.
Dude, I don't know what it is about those storms down there, but when they hit down there,
They don't have an ability to clear the roads. They don't have salt trucks down there.
is that what
it.
I'm missing in my head?
Yeah.
That's it.
Because I'm like, they just seem so much freaking worse down there, and then we get up here, and it's like, oh,
yeah, they don't.
we're home, it's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have the equipment necessary to clear the roads down there.
That
And,
makes
like,
total sense. And
yeah.
maybe that's what I'm not putting in my head when I'm looking at it.
My buddy wakes up like 4 hours into the drive and goes, "Man, I'll take over for you." And I go, "Absolutely no way in hell, no,
Yeah.
no." Because like if we're gonna die today,
Yeah.
it's gonna be because I fucked up, not
Yeah.
because you did.
Right.
Right. Like, nope, I got it, and I drove the entire 13 hours back. Because the thing is as we got more north, the storm's just coming with us.
Yeah.
It's like
And that's it.
We never got out of the ice.
No. That was like me on the way home from Arkansas this year. We didn't.
Yeah.
We just we followed the whole storm
Yeah.
right through the belly of it.
We never got out of
Yeah.
it. The whole way back, it was insane.
That
It was
was-
insane.
That last day we had though, oh man,
Oh,
Arkansas
yeah.
like that. That
Oh,
last
yeah.
day we had,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we beat them up
Mm-hmm.
bad.
It's like the snow confuses them, and all of a sudden, they
Yeah.
go, "Oh shit!" we gotta
Anything
eat.
they
We
see,
gotta
they're
eat
like,
now.
they're down there eating.
Yep.
There's got to be food.
Yep.
Suck in,
Yep.
and that's it. And we just lit them up. I
Yep.
mean, so many birds.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep, we got to eat now.
Yeah, I've never seen my dog because I took her with me. We ran my dog with these guys, and dude, I've
She's
never
like,
seen
fuck this. I've
her
had
so
enough.
tired in my life. At the end of the week, that
Right.
dog
Yeah.
slept the whole freaking way home. I've never seen her do it.
Yeah,
But it was awesome.
yeah.
How tired was she this morning?
Wasn't the dog's always ready to go unless we do something like that where we hunt like 5 days in a
Yeah.
row and she's nonstop.
Rip's usually the same way, but he was beat this morning.
Really?
Oh, we had
No.
that party for my mom last night, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get off topic, but he was beat.
Them dogs don't stop.
Ace
going, though.
Ace is wound like an 8-day clock.
His motor.
That's, I mean,
Kyle and I
Like,
talked
yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
And we
that dog's motor.
obviously, you know, like when we're down there for a week, we hunt hard.
Yeah.
And he's hunting just as hard.
Oh, yeah.
And there is no quit.
see, that's how Rip is, unless like he gets that time. I mean, Rip's a tiny dog. I mean, he's small, but I tell you one thing, he holds his own very well
Sure.
in the goose fields.
Oh yeah.
Like he does, I would say honestly better than Ellie does.
It's not about physical size. It's already
Oh
here.
man, he's
Oh, 100%
he's got
with
it.
those
especially
dogs.
with a dog.
He's
Yeah.
got it. But like if he gets that time to sit back and relax, he's done for.
No,
man.
there's no sit back and relax with him.
No,
As
no.
much as like as much as I tell him to lay down, like when we're trying to relax after a hunt, it's just
can't.
goes,
He looks at you and
ab-
says, "Fuck you."
Absolutely not. I know what we're here to
Right.
do. Like,
He says, "Fuck you." Why are we done? Why
Yeah.
are we done? Why can't we do this still?
Yeah, you told me a lot about him.
I
You
tell
should've
you.
brought him, man.
he was,
Should have
oh
brought
my
him.
God, he's
Yeah,
a bull in a china shop.
he is. He's 93 pounds of pure adrenaline, and yeah,
Donnie, my buddy Donnie Bailey, he brought his dog in last time, and it was the same way, just like
yeah.
chewing off one of the bumper's legs and doing
Right,
this
right,
and doing that
right.
all over the place. But
Yeah.
dude, one of those things. What's nice about having this room? It's so nice to be able to like just bring your dog. Just who cares? Bring it. If
Yeah.
people bitch and complain about the podcast, then they don't need to listen to it anyways.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, it's
Me and Kyle bring our dogs everywhere. We're,
Oh,
we're
it's-
dog guys bad.
me too, but my Hoyt is just old. He's just old.
That's getting into what's coming down the pipe for you guys.
Yeah.
You got a
You want to talk about the golf shirts?
product. No, not the golf shirts. Not the golf shirts.
Heads
The
up,
product
golf
that's-
shirts are next. Golf shirts are next.
That's coming down the pipeline for you, which you've been working on for.
That's the heart we're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got pictures of her jumping in the air, grabbing them fuckers by the neck too, and bringing them down. And
Well,
she's
like-
about 58 pounds. That
She's
dog's
only a
mouth.
little bit bigger than Rip, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Rip's mouth and head is way bigger than
Yeah,
Birdie's.
for
So
sure,
man,
for sure.
she's like a little dog. She was the runt.
I mean,
But
that
that heart on that dog, man.
it was like I was
Can't match it.
telling you guys at lunch when I took Ace to Kansas with us a couple years ago. There was a couple retrieves where a cripple sailed out to the other side of the field, and we're talking 250, 300 yards. And yeah, I had to walk out to the end of the spread with him, but like I also trained him myself with what I knew. So like he's not perfect by any means, but he goes and gets the bird and brings it back.
Yeah.
And
That's-
just that makes me happy.
Right.
That was the big thing with Ellie, my black lab. My big thing was if she brings it 10 yards closer, I'll be happy with it. She doesn't
Exactly.
need a heel. She doesn't need to like hold or like force fetch.
We're not running ace in competitions or trying to get trophies that say he was a good boy today.
All he's doing is he's making my job a little less harder by going to get the bird for me.
And just being out there alone with him, you know what I mean?
And like there were a couple retrieves where, like I said, I walked out to the end of the spread with him, and I'm like, "Go fetch it up!" Like, and you can see him perk up, and his ears perk up because he sees it, and I'm like, "Game on!"
Right.
Fetch him up. That bird will run one way, and he's on it, and he'll just roll it.
Yeah.
Barrel roll it, spin around, and grab it on his way back.
Time of his life.
He did that 2 or 3 times. I'm like, okay, you can never go retrieve another bird for me again for as long as you live, and I will be ecstatic with what you have done so far.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's
I love
a lot
that.
of people that just, I mean, me and Alex talk about it once in a while with dogs. People just don't realize. I mean, we got people that we know that the dogs won't swim past the decoys, or you know what I mean. Just kind of just weird stuff with dogs that they think they just automatically have a duck dog, and it's just they gotta have as much grind behind them as you do out there, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know, you hear the stories about you only get one good one, right?
Yeah.
Lucky you get one
it
good
ends
one,
in a heartbreak.
right? And that's the
Every
thing.
time.
They're a
Every
walking
time.
heartbreak.
It is the only ending to the story, right? The only ending to the story is that, like, eventually you're looking at a different puppy. Right?
I hate thinking about it. I don't even want to think about it.
Thanks, Mike.
Cry.
My dog Hoyt was a bomb sniffing dog when I adopted him at 15 months old. He was 15 months old, purebred yellow lab, never one time been in water.
Really?
At 15
he was a true
months
bomb
old.
sniffing dog?
He was, he failed the test.
Yeah.
In
Nice,
air
was he?
quotes, because you're supposed to find 2 bombs to pass the test. When he found the first bomb, as he was trained to do, he got so excited that he picked his lead up in his mouth and was like trying to hand it back to his handler to like, let's go get the next one.
Yeah.
And they went, "You're done, sir. He's no good for us. He's no use to us." The guy that trained him posted a picture of him on Facebook and said, "Somebody come get this useless dog out of my kennel right now. I have no use for him. He failed the test today. If somebody doesn't claim him in the next 48 hours, I'm going to have him euthanized."
Oh, yeah. I'd have been all over it.
I had a buddy that I worked with who knew that I was loosely looking for a dog. These guys were little,
Yeah.
right? And he shared the post with me and said, "If ever there was a dog you need to go get, it's this one right here."
You know he's a smart dog.
Sure. I messaged the guy. I say, "Saw your post. I can be there in 45 minutes. He said, "If it's going to be more than 45 minutes, don't bother coming. I'll be closed." And I said, "I'll see you in 45 minutes.
What a prick.
Dude is an asshole. This dude's probably like, I can't believe that people hire this guy to train dogs, but he's obviously very good at it, because Hoyt's sister worked for her entire life for a police force in New Jersey as a bomb sniffing dog.
Yeah.
Right? I get there to get him, and he says, "You just wait here. You're not going to have to guess when he's coming because you'll hear him." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He is all kinds of energy. All kinds of energy. He'll find you. You won't have to worry about him finding you."
Perfect. I said, this is the exact dog I want.
I was like, sweet. So I hear him open the kennel, and then I hear the click of his nails on the concrete floor. He comes flying around he comes flying out the door sideways, like doing this shit.
Yeah, trying to stay up.
Right, trying to stay up. He's like, oh, God. And he runs right to me, spins around, looks away from me, sits down, and looks over his shoulder like this. And I said, "I don't care what you need for him. I'm taking him home with me." I said, "What do you need for him?" He goes, "I don't care. What do you want to pay for him?" And I said, "Doesn't matter what I want to pay for him. What do you want for him?"
Yeah.
He says, "Just make a small donation for Paws with a Cause." And I go, "What are we talking about?" He goes, "I don't know, $200-300. I don't care."
Deal.
Done.
Sold.
Done.
That's what's crazy, though. It's more of a tool than a companion to a lot of people with those dogs. You know what I mean? And
Right. But, like, he was never much of a duck dog. I tried.
Yeah.
But he had ball drive, not hunt drive.
Yeah.
And a lab either has ball drive, where they chase a ball all day long, or they'll hunt for you all day long.
Yeah.
Look at Erie, my sister's dog.
Yeah.
That dog will not stop with a ball.
Right. Hoyt had ball drive, right? And he's very food motivated. So I started to read and was like, "You go get this bumper. I'm going to give you a treat."
Yeah.
He was like, "Sweet. I'm going to go get the bumper, bring it back, drop it, sit down next to you and go, 'Can I have my treat now?'"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
It's funny you said that because my dog wants nothing. Kyle can attest. My dog wants nothing to do with balls and toys, but she'll try to get fish out of the water.
Yes.
She'll go kill baby bunny rabbits.
Right.
And she wants to hunt.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So I tried for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
He didn't love the feathers in his mouth. We would take him hunting. One of us would drop a duck right in the decoys.
Yeah.
He'd go out there and he'd look at it and he'd turn around and go, "It's dead. Good work."
He was
Good work.
And then he'd turn around and he'd walk back to us. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, you're supposed to bring the duck back." And he goes, "Yeah, fuck you. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm not
But good job.
Great work.
Yeah.
I'm not putting the feathers in my mouth.
Yeah.
You can eat my dick."
Yeah, right.
If he had to swim for it, he would get it until he could touch, and then you had to walk out the rest of the way to get it.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. And the lake that we used to hunt is perfect for training new dogs because it's just shy of 2 feet deep and it's the hardest sand bottom ever. It's cool.
Oh, that's
It was,
perfect
Yeah.
for a
it
new
was
dog.
Yes.
awesome.
Watching
Doesn't make them panic.
Awesome.
watching Ace connect the dots,
You could literally
you
watch it.
saw it.
Like first couple volleys, it was the same thing as Hoyt because like this is his first hunt.
Yeah.
Like first actual hunt. First couple volleys, he'd do same thing. He'd run out there, he'd circle a couple times, he'd nudge it, and be like, "Yep, it's dead. Come get it."
Right.
And then the longer we were there and the more you watched him, you could see gears turning, and then it just clicked. And ever since then, he's like, "Okay, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
This is what I got to do."
Just a
and
special
it
moment when you see that with your
It
dog.
Yeah.
does not matter how far the retrieve is. If he sees it, he's bringing that bird back.
It will be something that I will probably remember forever because he literally, when he connected the dots, Caleb was standing with him on shore of this lake, and it was slow. Caleb was like, "Let me just work with him a little bit while it's slow," and we had taken one of the ducks we got, and he threw it out a couple of times. The second time after he brought it back, he made Ace sit next to him, threw it out, and Ace just paused, and he looked up at Caleb, and then he looked out at the duck, and then he looked up at Caleb, and I was like,
He got it right there.
The light bulb just went on right there.
Bing,
Like he gets
he's
it
got
now.
it.
Yeah.
And he's been an absolute monster ever since.
That's awesome.
It was the coolest thing I'll probably ever see.
Yeah. That's what I told him. I was like, when I went down to Arkansas this year, like, I was so grateful. They let me bring my dog. And
Right.
they questioned me a little bit before, can she cast? I'm like, yeah. Up to like 200-300. I'm like, and then I'm like having trouble getting her past that 200-300 where I'm telling her back and, she's, she kind of just goes off sniffing.
Sure.
But that's how those guys down south train their dogs, not to get off on a tangent. But so it kind of worked out to my favor. And when down there, it was like same thing. Like I watched, but the repetition of doing it every day, killing that many birds, watching those other dogs. I know she was watching those other dogs.
Yes.
And got to the point where we were just taking her and another guy's dog with 15 people.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, with clients.
Oh, gosh.
I'm super grateful for that experience.
Sure.
And she did phenomenal.
Right.
And she did awesome. And like, it's just, yeah. It gives me chills thinking about it, man.
I
didn't even shoot half the time. I let my buddy shoot. My gun stayed up loaded, man, on safety, and I just ran her and let her do her thing, man. And that I was satisfied with just that,
100%.
being able to do that in the best state in the world to do it.
Yeah. And there's something about watching those dogs do that.
Yeah.
And then, like, more than watching them do it, watching them figure out and understand, like, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Right. When they truly connect the dots and then understand that, yeah, we chill at home and we do stuff at home.
Yeah.
But like when you're putting your stuff on and I see
time.
you putting your stuff on, I know it's go time. And I'm like, yes.
When that dog trick collar goes on, or
Yes.
that shake of that dog trick collar even comes out of the cabinet, and she hears that, and she sees it, she's pissing.
Yeah.
She's sitting on the ground, she's pissing, screaming.
Let's go. Let's go.
Where are we going? When are we going?
Yep.
Ace gets happy feet. He'll sit there and he'll just
I know what you mean.
It's around me a couple times and he's sitting there.
God,
like
I
this.
love it.
Ace or your dad?
Both.
Both.
If we're being honest,
Okay, I just wanna
I
make
piss
it
a
clear.
little too.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Hell, it's all three of us sometimes.
I wear a diaper. Thank you. Thanks for busting me out.
Well, earlier we were talking about how old you were, so that makes sense.
I mean, it tracks. It tracks.
So coming down the pipeline, though, for you, we've talked about it before on the podcast. We haven't really got into it much. By the time this podcast drops,
yes,
it should be good.
It should be done this week. Yeah. I've been.
Do you want to really kind of get into that, or do you want to say
we can
that?
go into it?
Okay.
Sure, we can go into it. So, I mean, you and I have talked
over a year now about it.
A couple of times, yeah, a couple of times. But it's actually been a project that's been in the works a lot longer than that. Right. So we've been in the process of creating a decoy very specifically designed for the snow goose hunting industry. It is a rotary style decoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we're super proud of. That has taken way too long to get done.
Sure.
But as with most other stuff, everything happens exactly how it's supposed to happen at exactly when it's supposed to happen.
100%.
Right? So I'm not so much worried about that as I am like I'm not going to lose another season to not having it done. Right? And everybody uses motion decoys in their spreads in the fall as well. So, by the end of this coming week, we should have that thing finished. I should be able to talk in length more about it and why we created it and the way that we created it, why it makes more sense to me than a traditional rotary style decoy. And it's in addition to, not instead of, right? So like I'm not looking to replace the other rotary decoys that people currently use. I'm just looking to add to the realism in the spread with this different style.
Right. It's a whole different motion from everybody
else. It's a whole different motion than the traditional rotary style decoys that people are used to in their snow goose spreads. And the few people that I've shared it with are very excited about the potential for it, which makes me more excited than I already am about it, because not everybody's going to get it, and that's okay. I know that it makes sense for me because I've seen it so many times with just a natural feed that we roll up on. And so it makes sense to me. And if they get it, that's fine. If they don't, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Again, my stuff in terms of the apparel doesn't make sense to everybody, right? Because sometimes you'll get, I can go to Amazon and buy me a $6 hooded sweatshirt and have somebody logo it up, but it's going to cost me $40.
Yeah.
You know?
Like 2 for $250.
Yeah, Mr. Allen's 2 for $250.
Right. If you want to do that, then good.
Yeah.
Right? But like, if you know me at all, I've put more thought into it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All of our shit is brushed cotton, so it's super soft.
Yeah.
All of our shit is fleece lined in terms of a hoodie.
Yeah.
It's fleece lined. It's a midweight because, again, it could be 73 degrees when I'm setting the spread, and then tomorrow morning when I get up, it might be 33 degrees.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Like, it's functional. It's inexpensive for a very specific reason, but it's also quality. And I've told Kyle before, I tell anybody that'll listen, if I don't like it and I wouldn't put it over my head or on my head in terms of a hat, you're never going to see it.
Right.
Because I'm not going to put a shit product out that
my name's on.
But also that gives the internets an opportunity to talk bad about me, right?
Yeah.
Am I going to make everybody happy? No.
Right.
Does it make sense to a lot of people? Yup. And that's cool.
Makes sense to me.
If you don't want it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you do, trust that I've thought about it at a ridiculous level, and you're never going to be able to buy it until I'm sure that it's reliable.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with this decoy, and why part of the reason why it's taken so long is because I'm testing the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
Because I know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to be down there and have a piece of equipment not work.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And with the weather, with what we hunt in the mud, the dust, the grain dust, the water, I mean, it's got to be...
And that's where
got to be bulletproof.
And that's where we're getting to.
Yep.
Right. That's where we're getting to. But super exciting for me to now, because I've also told Kyle, like, if I ever stop making excuses, maybe I got something here.
Right.
Well, I'm not making excuses anymore.
Yeah.
I have one of the world's best cheerleaders behind me who supports me fully in this adventure every single day.
Dude, and people underestimate how big of a clause that can be with our sport that we do.
Sure.
Even just doing the podcast alone.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, our women too. Like,
right.
You have to. Which is awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
It's completely changed the way that I feel about this adventure, right? But when people say to you, you're going to sling hats and T-shirts for the rest of your life, that sounds stupid. Money better not come out of my account to do it.
Right.
Throwing the flipping bird.
Right. That doesn't create a lot of confidence.
Yeah, at all.
But when somebody says, "Whew, that's cool."
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a great idea.
Yep.
I like the thought you put into that. Or that's a cool design.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, look at that thing. Yeah, that's awesome. Right? That makes you want to do it more.
100%.
Right? And when so like in terms of, I've kept this decoy very close to my chest.
Yeah.
Because people are out there that will hijack your idea
100%.
with a quickness.
Yeah.
Right? So I've kept it very close to my chest.
Yeah.
And I've teased it to Kyle. We've teased it on a previous podcast. And it's okay for me to now talk about it because it'll be completed later this week.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'll go into the full bore testing phase of setting this thing up in my side yard and just letting it run for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or setting there for an hour and clicking it on and clicking it off and clicking it on and clicking it off, right? Because
going through the bug phase, we like to call it at Milwaukee. Yep.
Sure. One of the things that's super important to me is the reliability of this piece of equipment, and it's also remote controlled. Right. So I don't have to to either decide, do I want this thing constantly moving or do I want it not moving and have to run out there and hook up a battery and come back. Right.
Right.
So it's going to be remote controlled, just like boop, boop, just like a car starter, and you can turn it on and you can turn it off. So I'm going to go through a lot of that over the next month or so. But it should be completed this week. I'll go into the mega testing phase after that. And then providing that everything works the way that I want it to, I'll figure out some packaging and then start to get it out there, right? I'll start to advertise it more. I'll start making the phone calls that I've wanted to make for a couple, 3 years now in terms of people that I have talked to about it. I can call them now and say, okay, it's done. How many do you want me to send you? Right?
Super exciting. It's got to be so exciting. To finally be in that phase.
Right. So, like, when I think about it, if I allow myself to think about it, there are nights where I don't sleep much.
Oh, I bet.
Right? Because I'm up. I'm jotting down thoughts. I'm jotting down, don't forget this. I'm jotting down questions that for the guy that's helping me with it.
Yeah.
And it's, here's a test that I want to do, or I better do this, or don't forget to find the battery charger so that you can charge all the batteries for when you're done. You know, it's all the things, and that's the way that being an overthinker. That's the way that my brain does me sometimes at night.
The battery and the charging piece is huge, and I think that's why Lucky Duck has gone up so high. And you've seen Higdon pulsators and Higdon's equipment kind of stay stagnant where it's at.
That's a big word for me.
Yeah, kind of.
That is pretty big for your vocabulary.
That's what I'm saying. You just met me. And you already said it.
I just met you.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. You think about every little piece. You can think about every little question somebody's going to have about it.
I can think of every single objection that somebody would have.
Yeah.
And
that's what I meant. Yep.
And then make sure that I give them no reason to have that objection.
Right.
Right?
That's sales, baby.
Well, and it's not only sales, but it speaks to the entrepreneurial mind that I have, and it speaks to the difference between just making something and throwing it out there and hoping that it goes well versus making something, rethinking about it, retesting it, making sure that it's bulletproof, redesigning it, redoing this, redoing that, testing it again, testing it, then releasing it.
Yep.
Right? And it's, again, I've got boxes of shit at my apartment that nobody's ever going to see because I won't let you buy it.
Yeah.
I won't let you buy it.
Yeah.
I have hats that I've had made where after they're made, I take I had these ones made that are similar to ones I just released in the videos this week, except it was a leather patch. It wasn't an acrylic patch. So I released a hat this week that has an acrylic patch on it, looks like the American flag, and instead of the stars in the left-hand upper corner of the flag, it's my logo.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, right? But it's an acrylic patch.
Yeah.
I had leather patches made by a guy very local to me who's insanely talented and makes my tumblers. Right?
Which are sweet.
I've got a black tumbler that he laser engraves, but I've also got a stainless steel tumbler with a leather wrap that's 4 inches tall with my logo burnt into the leather.
That's badass.
It is
I use
so
it all the time.
badass.
It's sick.
It's my coffee cup every morning.
Yeah.
It's my coffee cup every morning.
That's badass.
Right?
I would
And
never even think of that.
it's my water cup at my office.
Yep.
The leatherette, the one with the stainless steel one with the leather, is my
Yeah.
water cup at my office. My black one is my coffee cup at my apartment every morning.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, I had these leather patches made that were that logo.
Yeah.
It was burnt into the leather. I take them to an apparel place locally to me, and I say, can you do this for me? I want them stitched on. I don't want them glued on.
Yeah.
Right? The guy goes, yeah, man. Yeah, I'll take, yeah, give me a few days. I'll have them done. I gave him all the leather. I gave him 12 hats and 12 leather patches.
Yep.
I had 24 to 30 leather patches made. I gave him 12 of them. I said, just so you know, this is insanely important to me that these are right. Make them all straight, logo centered with the center line that comes up the middle of the front of the hat. I'm all about the details. You've got this. He goes, yep, I got it. I get them back, and they're a shit show. And I go, what did you do?
Dude, I'm telling you. This guy's had some bad luck over the years.
I go, what did you do?
Did you let your kid run it or what?
He goes, well, the leather's pretty thick. I couldn't sew it, so I had to press it on there. And I go, well, that's what I told you I didn't want. And, like, did you wad it up in your hand and then press it on? Like, what did you press it on with? And why is there this giant crease across the crown of every single hat? What are you doing? You've ruined them all.
Yeah.
He goes, well, that'll be $72. And I go, not in this fucking lifetime. It's not going to be.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
I go, no. It won't be $72.
Yeah.
I said, if you were a consumer, would you buy a hat that looked like that?
Yeah.
He goes, well, it doesn't look that bad to me. And I go, I can't believe you own a business.
Yeah, for real.
So I said, I'm not going to give you your $72. I'm sorry. Just give me my shit, and I'll never bother you with anything ever again. So I then take them to a sewing shop.
Yeah.
And I said, do you have the capability of sewing these leather patches onto this hat? I take them to this lady and physically put them in her hands.
Yeah.
Do you have the capabilities? She goes, yeah, I think we can work with that. I go,
I think.
you think you can work with that? Or yes, Mike, we can take care of you. Because there's a difference. And one of them's going to end up with me really, really, really mad.
Yeah.
The other one's going to end up with me going,
You're the fucking lady.
good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Myrtle.
Yep.
See you again next time. Right?
Myrtle's name?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't know what her name was. But
It's a great middle-aged woman.
Wait, time out. Time out.
she's 150.
Myrtle?
She's 150. Her name had to be Myrtle.
I've never heard of a name called Myrtle. Where did that come from?
Myrtle, Nettie, I don't know.
It's pre
My time?
1980. Okay,
Good
you're not going to
Myrtle?
know that. Yes. Good Lord. Google it. If only there was a way that we could find out some old school names immediately.
I promise you it's better than Myrtle.
Right.
What?
Right. Well, Myrtle's one of them was my point. So
Good Lord, your dad, I mean, I'm just saying.
I take these hats to this lady.
Yeah.
She gets them done. I pick them up, and there's like, I look at the first one, and along the top of the patch, there's like 4 lines where she tried to sew it. And on the side, there's 3, and I go,
Myrtle, you're doing it wrong.
I go,
Absolutely butchered him.
I go, pardon me, but like,
What the fuck is this?
right. I go, you are absolutely shitting me, right? She goes, I don't understand. And I go, well, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Thanks, Myrtle.
I said, again, as a consumer, if I was offering you this product, would you give me $30 for that product?
Yeah.
She goes, well, I don't wear hats. And I go, I don't give a fuck.
And mind you, this is a 105-year-old Myrtle we're talking about.
Well, my man's trying to start a business.
Right.
Breaking
I
poor
go-
Myrtle's heart.
I go,
As if she isn't frail enough already.
I go, if you did,
Yeah.
would you give me $30 for this product?
Right.
She goes, I don't know what hats cost.
Yeah.
And I said, well, here's the thing. I promise you that I'm not only can I not sell these, I'm not going to offer these for sale. These are no good to me. right? You said you could do this when I put these in your hands. You physically held the hat and the patch in both of your hands and said, yeah, I think we can work with this. And this is what you're going to give me?
When you start pointing out the detail of like, hey, look, you went over this 3 times and it
Come on, Myrtle.
Right.
didn't stick.
Right.
You know, like,
I can't get over
goddamn
that
Myrtle.
name. Yeah, I can't get over that
And
name.
it's just, I mean, it's stuff like that where, like, I went home and took a razor, like a box cutter, and I cut all the patches off all the hats. Threw the hats in the garbage, threw the patches in a plastic bag, and they're on my counter still. And that was 3 years ago.
I'm going to ask Caleb something real quick. I might have to, like, zero out your mic here, but, I mean, Betty, I mean, any name of Myrtle, man. Whatever it is.
Obviously, being his son, I've heard some pretty off the wall shit. You never know what is going to come out of this man's mouth.
If you saw her, you would know that her name is Myrtle.
You never know what is coming next.
That's awesome.
If you saw her, you would know
times
her
out of
name
10,
is
I
Myrtle.
just stare at him. Like, really? Like,
He just
stare at him.
like, as smart as you are, that's the best you could come up with.
he puts his head down and just shakes his head and
I think
goes,
there's so much going on up there, and you can't get it all out of the fucking
Can't.
exhaust.
It's just like,
It's in the engine; it won't come out.
right. Yeah, it's a verbal vomit. That's
Yeah,
all that it is
literally.
most days, especially
Like,
when you get me wound up about like the apparel company, and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Because I care about it so much.
Yeah,
that it's like, I mean, yeah,
that's awesome. You have to care
you
about.
have to.
I mean, you have to because
I had lightweight face masks made, right?
Yeah.
Because like when we go down there, I'm like, sweet, I'll buy some white camel ones and I'll buy some for turkey hunting in the spring.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect.
right.
Take them to the same guy because he's one of the only local suppliers that does apparel stuff like that. That's custom made and such.
Yeah.
Right. I had a great guy. Was the guy that made this is an OG shirt. Right.
I was gonna
so
say,
This is like
if there's
one of-
anything
one
that
of-
I could do to get one of those,
this is the very last one I have.
is
of
it?
Those.
I was gonna say
Yes.
those are fire.
Yeah. So. So
For the
like
right price, I'll walk out of here.
He taught him well.
Hey, listen.
You've seen the shirt. You haven't seen what's underneath it.
Yeah, right.
And also,
it is really red right now. Let me
A
tell
lot
you
of
that.
fucking dry skin and shit under that.
also not the first time he said that.
Yeah, right.
For the right price,
For the right
I'll
price.
walk out of here.
I've heard Kyle say it a few times.
So, the guy that made these
Yeah.
was the guy that also helped me create the logo on the back.
Okay.
Right? Because when I got home from that trip where we brainstormed the idea of the apparel company, I went like all in.
Yeah.
I just went like, it was a couple of days where I was like, oh shit, I've got a job.
Yeah.
Right? Because now this is where I want to be. Right?
Right.
And I just started to research different snow goose mounts on Google. And I saw one that was the maple leaf.
Yeah.
And I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Right.
Right. And so I call him the next day and I'm like, or I talked to my buddy down in Kansas because originally they were supposed to be my partners in this. But what I found over time is that like they wanted to be partners in it. They just didn't really want to be involved in it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Right. Because I don't mind doing this by myself.
Yeah.
So I called this guy and just vomited on him. And I said, here's what I want. Here's a picture of the way that I want the bird to look. Here's how I kind of want the Flipping Birds apparel company to be around it. And if you could add like most of a circle, but maybe the bottom of the circle is open, like I trust you fully. You do your thing and like, let me know. And a couple of days later, he sent me 3 different designs. And I looked at that one and I said, get out of my brain. That's exactly what I had in mind. That's absolutely perfect. He says, well, then I'm going to start making you stickers. And I said, sure, print me up some stickers. But I need T-shirts. And I want them to be soft. I don't want them to be 100% cotton because I don't dry anything. And when you can shake a cotton T-shirt all you want, it's never going to get soft.
No.
These are all...
And they shrink like crazy.
Right. These are all a brushed cotton, so they're softer than soft,
it's
right?
Like, it's like these. Like,
yes,
I
they're
know the
softer
feeling.
than soft, and I love them. And like I said, you know, logo left chest, big logo on the back, and it's I've got some pictures that I've taken that I want to have like logo front left chest, big picture, big square picture on the back. But what I'm discovering is that I can send a picture to somebody and they say, well, it's not high quality enough. You have to have it high. I'm like, it's high definition photo.
Yeah.
They're like, it's just not enough for us.
The pixels and stuff that you start getting into.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Why is it always left chest instead of right chest?
Because I like left chest, not right chest.
I don't
It's
think
like
I've
that on
ever
every
seen
shirt,
a
though.
shirt.
It's literally, where's your logo at on
Left
that?
chest.
Well, that's what
Why?
I'm saying.
Right.
Why though? I
Let's
just,
start doing right chest.
I might as well.
Do it.
We're no leftists here.
I'm just saying though. I just
just
realized
saying,
that.
right.
I'm looking at his mind. Caleb's like,
But
Yeah.
like, you know what I
Looking at
mean?
my
Though it's like,
boobies,
what
Kyle.
the heck's going on? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Reminded me of whatever her name was.
Myrtle.
Myrtle. Yeah.
Myrtle. Yeah, I don't know. It's just always where I've
That's
gone.
weird though, isn't it? I wonder why
mean,
that's like the main
I
thing.
like that patch on your hat.
Yeah.
Is that leather? Or what is that?
It's called
like,
a leatherette. It's
whatever that material is, that stands stands out.
Yeah.
It's that black line.
And it's
So that-
very, very detailed, and it doesn't look like you can tell what that is.
So that company, Roots Edge, that I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
this was her idea.
Oh, really?
I said, because I have some other hats that were made by another guy who's also insanely talented.
Yeah.
And I love him dearly. I just can't feasibly order 12 dozen hats at a time.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't yet, I should say.
Right.
I don't want to yet.
Yep.
I did that several years ago and still have a boatload of them left.
Yeah, you got to
Right.
do it where it makes sense than like you've learned before.
Right. So one of the hats that he made was embroidered and it had this logo on it just down here like this, right? So when I went to have the American flag hat made, they also make some leather patch hats, right? So I just had a round leather patch hat made and blah, blah, blah. She says to me, hey, Mike, we're trying this new product. What do you think if we did this logo like this on some hats, but it's what's called a leatherette? And I go, I love that. Do you have any white camel hats? And she goes, yeah, we do. And I go, good. Make me a dozen.
Yeah.
Right? And they're local. It's 15 minutes to go get them, pick them up from them.
Yeah.
We always have the greatest conversations when I go pick up stuff because they're always excited.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we've got this new acrylic stuff that we're trying. It's like a hard
So they're passionate about their business as well.
1,000%.
That's awesome.
Wired
You don't want to
same
find
way.
anybody else then. Yeah.
Wired the same way.
Yep.
And if I want 3 hats made, they'll make me 3 hats.
So is that
That's nice right there.
from like a consumer standpoint? Is that so like I've done that before, like with hockey stuff, like where you go to try on like you go to a website and you have like you want to have your buddies have like 12 hoodies made, but then you have the MOQs, the minimum order quantity, but then it ends up being like $2,000 for 12 hoodies. Does it work that way if you like a walk-in shop or
No.
Okay.
She literally has said to me, if you want one of these made, we'll make you one of them.
Okay, that's awesome.
If you want
Yeah.
2 dozen of them made, we'll make you 2
Yeah.
dozen. Right? And the cost is very similar.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, I'm not making $1 bazillion
Right.
selling these hats and T-shirts. I
Right.
don't want to. That was never the design.
Yep.
Right. The idea and the design behind it was, I just want guys who enjoy hunting snow geese to
Yeah.
have something that they can look at where their buddies go, man, that's a sweet
That's
looking logo.
That's sweet. Or you wear it out to the bar. You
Right,
wear it out,
right.
family gathering. Like
Right.
I'd wear that. You know,
Right.
family reunion. I'd wear something like that.
Sure.
You know.
Sure. And these are next.
Yeah.
Right. Like golf shirts are next. I started researching that yesterday.
Yeah.
Because again, my brain is the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, squirrel. And I went,
Yeah. Ooh, squirrel.
camo golf shirts. Let me
Right.
see what's out there.
Right.
Right. And laying in bed the other night, night 4 last, I'm laying in bed and I went, ooh, shit, camo golf shirts. Because I'm thinking about coming here today.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to be 80 degrees. I don't know if Kyle's seen my camo golf shirt. I'm
Yeah.
wearing my camo golf shirt.
Yeah.
Give us something to talk about.
Yep.
Right. So then I get online. I start researching some camo golf shirts. I found 3 of them that I love. There's a black one, there's a charcoal gray one, and there's a white one. Right.
It would be sweet
Badass.
though. Just thought. I've been seeing a lot of those golf shirts with like little logos all over the place.
Yeah,
that would be
that's-
sweet.
that would be
for
real
sure.
nice.
Ooh.
Real nice, Clark. Real nice.
There he goes. Look at his
Yep.
brain. It's I
Yep.
can see his ears are smoking.
Because I'm thinking
Smoke
about
is
like that would be
rolling
sweet
out.
for us even too, like to have
Dude,
like a
that would
bunch of
be
logos.
sick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
something
got a
different.
logo I drew up one time, a long time ago. It's pretty cool. I'm going to present it to Kyle.
There you go. There you go.
It's very quality stuff, you know.
Yeah. It has to be. Has to be.
It's only fitting for today.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for these guys? We've been going for a minute.
No,
we
man.
can go for another 4 hours.
No.
I don't even know what time it is.
It's
Almost 5 o'clock,
almost
right?
five.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Kyle, I have a bedtime.
I know. I'm sorry. You and whatever that girl's name
Myrtle.
is. Myrtle's got a
Myrtle.
bedtime.
Yeah.
You've never
She's
heard.
getting ready for bed now.
I've never
You
heard
have
already in
never-
bed.
Dinner 2 hours ago.
That's why I got to get home, bro.
Right. But no,
You
man.
have never heard someone refer to their friend as Fertile Myrtle.
I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My ex's mom used
Thank
to say
you.
that about herself all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest,
She
though,
calls
like-
herself that all the time.
People say like an old soul kind of thing,
Sure.
and I've never heard somebody say Myrtle.
Kyle's fucking caught up on
He
Myrtle.
is.
I am, dude. It's really throwing me
He
off.
gets that way.
Absolutely mind
Kyle's like, I've only ever heard of Myrtle Beach. I've never heard of anyone named Myrtle.
That's what I was thinking. Myrtle and then left pocket shirts.
Yeah.
Left pocket shirts and Myrtle.
I try to do that to him
God.
once every time I'm here, where it's
Dude.
just like, wait a minute, what did he just fucking say?
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
mind blown.
And
He's gonna be talking about that shit when we go out here on the beach in a minute.
he never fails either.
Yeah.
Never fails.
He's so easy.
But no, man, this is one of my favorite that I've done so far. You guys are freaking awesome.
I love coming here and doing this stuff with
and
Kyle. I
just to learn who
love
you
it.
guys are and what you guys do and
Yeah.
how passionate
Well,
you guys are.
And
I told you
I
yesterday,
recommend
I tried
Flipping
to
Bird
warn
to
you.
freaking anybody, man.
I'll extend the invitation to you as well. Like get in a car with him and head down with us next
100%,
March.
man.
You know, it's
Yeah.
Can I promise
always
you
have
anything
room.
other than we're going to work as hard as it takes to shoot birds? No,
Hey,
but
that's automatic in my world.
right.
I'll
right.
tell you what. We'll make a deal right now.
Sure, let's do
All
it.
this is on because it'll be a lot like on the.
We'll have a video record of it.
Yes.
I'll help you there.
He's still
You
thinking
come-
about Myrtle.
We'll mess up.
He's wondering if she's taking her teeth out tonight.
God.
Gumming that
went
thing
too
to death.
far. Too far. Too
Hey,
far.
been there, done that, and it feels good.
Sid might have,
Stop it.
Sid might have something to
I'm
say
just
about
saying,
that.
yeah.
God,
Sorry,
that's
Sydney. Sorry,
bad.
Sydney.
Depends on how much property she has. I
Right.
guess.
That's right.
Hey,
Let's go get you those decoys, Kyle.
yeah. See, that wasn't so bad. Let's go get you those decoys.
It's just taking a turn.
That got really dark really fast.
If you guys come out, both of you guys come out and goose hunt or duck
You're
hunt
going to
with
be
us this
sick
year.
of us this fall.
I should be.
You're going to be sick of us.
I want that.
Okay.
I'm just letting you
All
know.
right.
Caleb,
All right.
I can help with you guys every day.
I love it.
already know.
I love
You
it.
guys are more than welcome. I've told you it for years.
Sure.
You guys are more than welcome. Every weekend, we'll make room no matter
We'll make
what.
it happen. We'll make it happen.
I'm gonna
If
make
you
sure
guys
to go
do
get
that-
Walmart camo just because I know you
No,
love it so much.
come on. I'm bringing an extra fucking set of Sika for you now.
Well, then you know what kind of call he's blowing that day.
Oh, God.
But if you guys come in, we'll figure something out for the March
Okay.
season.
Yeah, I'm down. 100% I'm
Yeah.
down.
Cool.
like it.
Cool. We'd
Let's
love
get
to
it
have
done.
you. We'd love to have
Yeah.
you. I'm going to shout out Felicia with Women of the Wild Outdoors. I'm going to shout her out right now because when I started posting stuff earlier this week, I've also invited them for a lot of years because I think what she does is pretty cool
Yeah.
in terms of getting women involved in the outdoors that want to but maybe are afraid to because they don't feel like they know enough about it.
Right, right.
So she's created an environment that's pretty cool where women can just be themselves and learn. They're very much about the education portion of thing, and then not only educating women, but then getting them out there into the actual outdoors and experiencing everything that the outdoors has to offer us. From it's more than the hunting at that point. It is I tell people all the time, 90% of the reason that I hunt is just to escape everything else that is my everyday world, right? Like for me, when I'm deer hunting, it's not about shooting every deer that walks in front of me.
No,
it's
you're
about
just not thinking anything.
It's about watching a fawn just ding dong around where they get the zoomies. You ever been deer hunting with a fawn?
and they start kicking
Gets
around.
the zoomies and they're just jumping around and doing their thing. Like that's as much fun for me and as exciting for me as it is when I go, oh shit, there's baby crabs.
Yeah.
Right? Our big ass 10 point, there's baby crabs.
Okay, never mind.
It's my little brother's nickname for him.
It's for the deer. Okay.
Whoa. Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
It's not like I was
Pecker
going.
poles and baby crabs.
Yeah,
There we go.
I've heard of the.
It's not Myrtle.
Right.
I've heard of the Woman of the Wild thing. I don't know her personally at all, but yeah, it sounds like an unintimidating environment for
Super
women
cool,
to step in and
Yeah, so when I started making the posts about the lightweight summer hoodies this week, she reached out to me and said, hey, you've been gracious enough to offer us an opportunity to come down there and hunt with you guys. We absolutely have to make it happen. What about a group of us from Women of the Wild coming down this next spring? And I said, I'll go down a few days early. Like, I'll go down on a Thursday. You guys come Friday through Sunday. It'll just be you guys and us. And we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
And away we go.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's awesome, though. Is there anywhere else you want to, like, where can people find you at, though?
So I'll be also finalizing my website, my brand new website this week. I'm meeting with that young man that is helping me design that and design the e-commerce store. I'm meeting with him at noon tomorrow. So yeah, that should be finished. That should be finished tomorrow or later this week.
Yep.
So I'll have not only a website to throw out there, I'll have an e-commerce store where we can go get stuff, and I'll always on Facebook and Instagram, right? And people
just at Flipping Birds Apparel.
Flipping Birds Apparel Company. Yep. Yeah. Flipping Birds Apparel. Flipping Birds Apparel Company. Yep. I've got, if you Google it, I've got an old trash website that I used to use. I used to have a Shopify storefront. That is absolute trash.
Yeah.
Super hard to navigate, and I just took some pictures and threw them on there. So, I mean, in terms of the products that I can get you, it's okay, but the website will be finished later on this week. So for now, until you see that post on social media, just shout at me on Facebook, or, you can also go to my main profile on Facebook and just direct message me. Yep. If you message the Flipping Birds Apparel Facebook page, I'll get the message because I'm the admin for that. So I spend a lot of time on Instagram because I found that it's a better way to get it out there in most cases.
Yeah.
And I follow more hunting profiles on my Instagram profile than I do on my Facebook profile. So when I share something, it's shared to both sites. Right. So just message me for now, but the website and the e-commerce store should both be finished this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say before we wrap this up is the Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association. We don't give those guys enough credit for what they do for around our community with the youth hunt and helping out with their dinners and Point Moulet Festival, which is another shout I want to do with, we're coming to the festival this year. I don't know if you guys are.
Yeah. 100% count us in.
So
count us in. In fact, send me some information. So
I got a poster right here.
Yeah, if you want to take a picture of that,
I will.
Yep. I just had the guys in the other day, and if you need help with that, let me know because I'll take care of you with it all. But look forward into helping those guys out and helping the community out with the youth hunts and all of the good stuff that they do. I don't know, just growing the community in itself around here.
Growing the waterfowl hunting community.
To be back where it used to be, because around here we used to thrive on waterfowl hunting, and I feel like it's really slowing down lately.
Yeah.
So, and we got to get Q-Tip up here too from Migra. Get him up here to hunt with us.
He's supposed to be either coming again this. He was supposed to last year. Man, it's tough because they're so busy.
Dude's busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
For real.
It's for real tough, man. I mean,
with their 2 other loads that are coming out now, they're just on the back end. They're probably just.
Did I tell you we bought some of that stuff? Took it down there this last spring.
Yeah, I heard it was insane.
Lights out.
Naughty.
I'm telling you, man. Whether it was a turkey load, which we were like the what's the word I'm looking for? The I guess reps for it. For this spring, just coming out and stuff, and then with the waterfowl load, we've been shooting it for a few years now, and I was super happy when me and Alex just like we met 2 years ago.
No, way longer than that.
Maybe 3-4 years ago.
Like 4 years ago, yeah.
We met.
This guy's sense of time is shit.
Okay, so I'm just saying you're gonna make fun of this. We met waiting in line for the pisser at a bar one night, and I was like, "Oh, you got a sick of hat, you hunt, yeah." And ever since then, we just sort of BSing.
Right.
Well, we didn't talk for 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he contacted me on Snapchat. I think it was like, "Hey, I'm in Wisconsin now, living here, but I think a podcast with like sports and like kind of seeing how like the sports, kind of lead into the hunting.
Like when you're done with sports, the
There's
transition.
so many athletes that hunt.
Right.
So many professional
And I
athletes
wish,
that hunt.
and there's so like the whole thing with me is I know so many kids through hockey that are such good kids, but after hockey is done, they're fucking lost, man.
Sure.
And they start getting into trouble and they start drinking and they start smoking. And it's like, dude, if you just learned how to hunt, or I could take
with the team
somebody hunting.
effort.
Yeah, right. And
If
I know
you-
your work ethic. I know you're fucking tough. And
Sure.
I know you'll work, but
Sure.
teach you a new skill that
if
you'll
they had
fall
a-
in love with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they had
that
if they had a new outlet that could
Right.
replace their
right.
hockey.
Because that's kind of how I was.
I mean,
when
it's a
hockey
job.
Was, right.
It's a
Oh,
job.
Oh, yeah. Especially college hockey, dude.
Sure.
It was, yeah. So
So
he played a little college baseball, so he can
yeah, so
speak
you
to
know,
that.
yep.
I did, but it wasn't for very long.
I got you. So, but when he reached out to me about that, and I was like, man, if you want like to help out, really, I'm giving you the invite right now to help out with this podcast and help out with the group and the hunting group in itself, because scouting every day by myself and doing all this stuff for 15 people to go out and hunt, it's like that's a lot for me, man. He's like, dude, no doubt, if I move back, I want to move back, I'm in.
Right.
And here we are now. He's buying my sister's old house, and I mean, thank God for it, because now I got somebody that's here to help me out with the podcast, getting guests on the podcast, scouting now. Whether it's turkey hunting, waterfowl hunting, whatever it may be, it's nice to have that guy that's wanting to do it compared to the other 15 guys that are like, where are we hunting this weekend? That's it.
Right.
So
We got to get
nice.
my buddy Kelly Gaddis up here too. He's a call maker from down in Ohio.
Yeah, we've been. I've been. Yeah.
And he actually reached out to me last week about it, but things with the holiday have gotten so crazy that I haven't had much time to reach back out to him and to have an actual conversation with him. He commented on a couple of the posts with the spring weight hoodies or with the summer weight hoodies and stuff. So I obviously I haven't forgotten about him, but
Whenever you want, man, we're free.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Shoots a lot of divers up here on Erie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
set it up.
Really cool guy.
There's
really
a couple
cool guy.
dates that we have locked down for some guests on the podcast, which we're really excited about. But if it's any other date than that, then
Sure, and when you know me, we're always going to make it work, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm never going to try to shoehorn my way in here, but coming up here and sitting down like this is one of my favorite things to do, right?
That's awesome. We love hearing that.
we said it
Especially-
last time, man.
Well,
We
sure.
need to do it more.
Well, and we do, but like,
Hey, you guys got the deal now.
I mean-
I'm already in. I'm sold.
I mean, life, right?
Right. That's
You know,
for sure. That's for
so-
sure, man. But no, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming in.
Well,
Caleb,
likewise,
meeting
man.
you.
We appreciate you giving us the platform, right? Because I've always been built in a way where, yes, I'm super excited about this, but no, I'm never going to force feed it to somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I see it in the real estate world, especially on social media, right? Where I follow some realtors in my area and they're like, woo, I'm showing 3 houses today and I got an accepted offer. And I'm
Yeah.
like, sweet, congratulations for doing your job today.
Yeah. right.
You know,
Right.
like good. I had 4 closings this month. I didn't say a word about them on
Yeah.
social media. Right.
That's what's tough,
man.
man. Me and Alex go to the beach, and people are like, "Oh yeah, we're starting a guide service up about waterfowl and this, that, and the other." And
my God,
you guys
God.
hunt, and I'm more like, "Yeah, a little bit."
All you're doing is making
here
a
and
bad
there.
name for everybody else if you
And it's-
fucking go out there and ruin things.
What I'm saying is, like, we don't need that, like
right.
that we're these people,
Right.
and you need to come at us like we're somebody
No,
that
not
we're
at
not.
all.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
And that's the people that are like, "Oh, we did 3 closings, whatever." Like they're looking for attention. We don't want that.
I just want to be able to sit down and have people hear me speak about it so they know how excited I am about it,
Right.
and they can feel that, and then they can go, he was pretty excited about that. Let me check his stuff out. And then they see it and they go, oh, wow, that is a pretty sweet logo. Right. And they find out that my T-shirts are dirt cheap. My hats, I'm embarrassed to sell my hats for $35, but they cost me enough where if I don't, I'm not going to make any money.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
right.
what, I've got those 2 hats on the wall still.
Right.
I haven't used them because I've been scared to use them. Honestly, I don't want to mess them up.
There's plenty.
One.
There's plenty more where they came from.
But there's 2. You don't realize, like, just them hats hanging up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
How many people walk in here like, man, those are some badass hats right there. So it's nice because, like, I could show that off to people and be like,
Right.
dude, I told Alex last time, I'm like, listen, you're going to love Mike, man.
Right.
You're going to love him. You're the passion behind this guy. There ain't nothing like it.
Right.
And, you've seen it firsthand today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's good to hear that. It's good to hear that comes through, right? Because that's all I really want to show people.
Yeah.
Right. Like, am I just another guy out there? Yep.
Are we.
Am I incredibly wound up about snow geese? Also, yep. Also, yep.
Really?
And
I'd have never.
I didn't think so. Either.
I'd never
You hunt snow geese?
right. And I just want
We've hunted those.
because it's so cool to me. I just want to help everybody out there learn more about them.
Yeah.
Right. Because beyond the spectacle of seeing a pod of 50,000 of them lift off a field in the sunset, there's the very true conservation aspect behind it, where we are really doing Mother Nature a solid by helping her balance this stuff out.
100%.
Right? Because it is necessary. It's necessary. Otherwise, the spring conservation order wouldn't exist.
Yep.
Otherwise, the bag limits for them in the fall wouldn't be so liberal. You know.
Right.
What I mean? So there's a need. There is a need, and I like to introduce people to it, and
Especially up here.
right.
Because, I mean, like for me, when I first met him, I was like, dude, how is a guy from Michigan going down and hunting just a week and have the same passion that we have for geese and ducks around here, but he's only hunting these birds a week. Mm-hmm. And how is he that in love with that kind of stuff?
Right.
You know, it's just like, it's still, to me, it's still mind blowing.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to meet people like you guys, to have the passion behind the chase, and that's who you want to feel like your life around, people like that. You know what I mean?
You guys know, you learn, like, only being a week, you learn to really love and enjoy what time you have doing that. So it's going to be 100% the entire trip, whether it's a bad trip where you sit there, like I mentioned earlier, we've sat there for an entire week some trips and watched birds do nothing but migrate. Right. But then you have that one trip, and sure, it may be only a day or two where you're really just beating the shit out of them, but that one day or two makes up for those last couple years that have been, you got kicked in the teeth.
I think if me and Kyle come with you, though, like with the experience that we...
You mean when you come with
When we come with you, the experience that we bring, we split the fuck up and go scout, and I think that'll help out tremendous.
If they come with
I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part.
All right, man.
You hear that MF almost come out?
He was about to.
He said downriver. He said downriver dog.
That
He was
Taylor
about
Tucky
to.
shit.
Good Lord. I go home, I want to be talked to like that.
Oh, pecker poles, mini crabs. All right, we're going to wrap this up right here, man.
Myrtle.
Yeah. But no, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming up and meeting you, Caleb. I've heard a ton about you, man. It's nice to finally put a face on the picture.
Yeah,
and
it looks just like his, just younger.
I don't know. You look a lot better, no homo, than your dad. So just saying.
Whoa.
But, you know, never mind. All right. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Until next week, we'll see you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, thank you.